excise tax.
Good morning. Fidel Castro says he's worried that the little 6-year-old Cuban boy in Miami is being brainwashed. We'll hear from the Cuban leader in an exclusive interview today, Wednesday, December the 15th, 1999.
From NBC News, this is Today with Katie Couric and Matt Lauer. Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And welcome to Today on this Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm Katie Couric.
And I'm Matt Lauer, and man, we've got a busy morning ahead of us.
We do indeed. Fidel Castro is straight ahead in this half hour. So too is New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani, who's breathing a sigh of relief this morning. A transit strike that would have crippled the city was averted early this morning. We'll hear from the mayor about that in just a few minutes, Matt.
And Katie, two legends are in the news this morning. Paul McCartney returned Tuesday to the place where the Beatles first played. We're going to show you what that looked like. And Charles Schulz is retiring. The creator of Peanuts has announced that the comic strip will end next month. Recently, Al Roker sat down with Schulz, and we're going to hear some of that interview.
Really makes you feel as if it's the end of an era, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of melancholy, isn't it?
Yeah, plus holiday fashions for plus-size women, and we've got some glasses that will actually correct color blindness for people like my friend Mr. Lauer.
I tried them yesterday. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it works.
It's exciting.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
But first to the news desk, and here's Ann Curry.
All right, good morning to you, Katie and Matt, and to all of you this morning. New complaints this morning in the custody fight over Elian Gonzalez, and they come directly from Cuban President Fidel Castro. During a 4-hour interview, Castro told NBC's Andrea Mitchell that he is concerned that Elian is being unfairly influenced by his relatives in Miami, and that the longer he stays in the U.S., the harder it will be for him to readapt to life in Cuba. He also says the Cuban people are offended by Elian's trip to Disney World and by his contact with anti-Castro Cuban Americans. More of that interview with Fidel Castro in just a few moments. Historic peace talks get underway this morning at the White House between Israel and Syria. President Clinton will meet jointly with the Prime Minister of Israel and the Foreign Minister of Syria. Then the two leaders will meet one-on-one in the first talks between the two countries in 3.5 years. Today, Al Gore's presidential campaign is expected to release details of his medical records. The release comes less than a week after Bill Bradley disclosed his irregular heartbeat. NBC's Claire Shipman has more on this.
He's the third presidential contender to go public about his health. Al Gore's campaign today will release summaries of his medical history that show the 51-year-old is in very good physical condition. NBC learned the details about his health from a doctor asked by Gore's team to review the records.
I would probably place him in the overall, cardiovascular-wise in particular, in the top 1% of the population of those people over 50.
According to Gore's doctors, his heart is in excellent shape, better than it was 3 years ago. Gore is an avid runner, and in the last year lost almost 20 pounds training to climb Mount Rainier. His cholesterol is mildly high, measuring 231. Ideal is below 200. He had a basal cell carcinoma removed from his shoulder in 1996. Tests for prostate and colon cancer were negative. He's never been treated for any mental health concerns, but he did attend several family counseling sessions years ago after his son was in a car accident.
This is obviously information the Gore campaign is eager to brag about. And while aides insist it is not their intent, they clearly don't mind the contrast to Bill Bradley's recent acknowledgement that he has an irregular heartbeat.
Bradley has offered the public the results of his most recent physical exam. Gore is handing out summaries of his medical history. Gore's team hopes the details he did release will bolster the fighter image he's been working to craft. Claire Shipman, NBC News, Washington.
Airline passengers have some new rights as of today. Airlines are pledging to be more upfront about the lowest fares and more informative about delays. Last night, Willie Brown easily won a second term as mayor of San Francisco. He is the first mayor there to be reelected in 16 years. A freight train derailed during the night in Portland, Oregon. It ruptured a natural gas pipeline, sending flames into the air, but no one was hurt. Julie Andrews is now suing a New York hospital and 2 doctors, claiming that surgery 2 years ago ruined her singing voice. She is asking for, quote, substantial damages to compensate for the loss of past and future earnings. Now President Clinton is going to bat for Pete Rose. Rose is trying to reverse his lifetime ban from baseball after a gambling investigation. In an interview with People magazine, the president says he'd like to see Rose admitted to the Hall of Fame. Said the president, I think just about everybody ought to get a second chance. It is now 7:04. Let's turn to Matt, Katie, now.
All right, Ann, thanks so much.
No transit strike. The rain has stopped here in New York City. We're in a good mood.
Yeah, but bad news for our friends in the Northwest. They just continue to get hammered. Gale force winds coming in, 2 to 4 inches of rain along the coast. And as you move further inland, we're looking at a lot of snow, 6 to 12 inches of snow in the western Rockies on through Montana. Flood watches along the coast from Pacific City all the way on up into the great northwestern coastal areas. A jet stream, the culprit there. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening. Culprit there. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Morning to you. I'm Bruce Sussman with a look outside at a windy Wednesday morning. Our peak wind gust 31 miles an hour in downtown Portland. It's hit 39 miles an hour in Vancouver. All part of the wet and windy day ahead for us. As you can see, lots of clouds moving into the Willamette Valley, and on our wide view of the satellite, you see it's got a tropical connection, so that means quite a bit of rain and flooding potential, especially in the Coast Range. Rainy and windy in the valley today, and warm temperatures in the low to mid-50s.
It's 7:06. Now here's Matt.
Al, thanks very much. On Close Up this morning, Fidel Castro. Last night, the Cuban leader sat down with NBC's chief foreign affairs correspondent, Andrea Mitchell, to talk about that little 6-year-old boy in Miami. Castro told Andrea he wants the boy back, and quickly.
During 4 hours of conversation with NBC News, Fidel Castro said he is concerned that Elian Gonzalez, who was taken to Mass with his Miami relatives Tuesday night, is being unfairly influenced by his relatives, and if he is not returned soon, will be unable to readapt to life in Cuba.
I said, then why do they want to delay this returning of the child? To be able to change the child's mentality, to destroy his identity? What's going to be left of his psychology? How will he adapt again? How will he readapt to live with his father again?
He says particularly offensive to the Cuban people, Elian's trip to Disney World and Universal Studios, and his constant contact with anti-Castro Cuban Americans.
Are you concerned that the child will say that he wants to stay in the United States, that he will be seduced by all of these toys and trips to Disney World?
They are trying to simply dazzle the child with all these things. According to the father and what the boy has been coerced, they feel that their boy is not acting naturally.
You know that some people in the United States say that the father is coerced by the government and can't speak freely.
And how could we prove that that is false? Would we have to take the father to Miami to prove that he's not here, that he has not been coerced here? Time matters here. How long can a child's mind be changed, a 6-year-old child?
Castro said the Cuban people are very impatient, embittered, could begin marching again to protest, but that Cuba is not America's adversary.
No, there's not going to be a war, of course. Violence? No, you will not see violence.
Do you have a message to Bill Clinton about this?
I am under the impression that he wishes the child to be returned to his father. The sooner the better.
Do you think that the issue of this child will become a permanent obstacle between our two countries?
I have confidence in the common sense and the talents of your people. I don't think you will make that mistake.
The Cubans hope that some compromise can be reached, possibly through an intermediary, such as church groups in both countries. But Castro says his chief concern is that this be resolved soon. For today, Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, Havana.
And coming up on 7:09, here's Katie.
Thanks, Matt. Folks in the New York area can breathe a sigh of relief this morning. A strike by bus drivers and subway workers that would have crippled the city was averted early this morning when both sides agreed on a new tentative agreement. Rudolph Giuliani is the mayor of New York City. Mr. Mayor, thanks for being here because I know you were up until 3 in the morning. Is that right?
Yeah, it was pretty late or pretty early, whichever way you look at it.
Did you get any sleep?
Yeah, I got some sleep.
Well, anyway, thanks for coming by. Are all trains and buses going to run today? And what about a possible slowdown?
Well, overnight they all ran normally. We were monitoring it, and they all ran. All the subways, all the buses ran normally. The rush hour appears to be normal. So it looks like there's certainly no organized strike. They reached agreement last night in the wee hours of the morning, meaning the Transit Authority and the union. The Transit Authority is run by the state, not by the city, so they negotiated. And it's about, I think it's a 12% increase over 3 years, and a 2.3% contribution to the pension, which also relieves the workers of having to pay that amount of money. and then a lot of other conditions. It's only tentative. Has to be approved by the executive committee of the board, has to be approved by the union, but it's quite clear there is no strike.
Are you optimistic that this will be approved? This
Well, I'm very optimistic that there'll be no strike, and I think we won't know whether it's going to be approved or not for 2 or 3 weeks, so we get past the holidays, which is a real blessing.
The workers wanted a 9% increase in wages each of the next 3 years, correct?
Right. I think they all started with a package. The workers wanted 27%, and the Transit Authority wanted to give 7 or 8%, and they ended up at 12 or 13%. But also this addition to their pension is a very, very big benefit. So I think it worked out fairly. It's a shame we had to go down to the wire and we had to go to court, but I think we established an important principle, and that is public employees can't strike. They can negotiate, they can bargain, they can get arbitration. But if you work for the public, Franklin Delano Roosevelt said this, so did Ronald Reagan, if you work for the public, you give away your right to strike, because if the transit workers go on strike, people in New York City will die. I mean, they're literally, emergency workers won't be able to get to people who are having heart attacks because of the congestion. 600,000 school children would not have been able to go to school if they had gone on strike. So the law says you can't strike, and I think we vindicated that principle in court yesterday, and it helped a lot to get this thing focused on settling.
You effectively used your bully pulpit to basically discourage, if you want to use that word, or to threaten the workers not to strike. Do you think that's the key to effective governance?
Well, I think we did that for a while. We tried to encourage them to bargain, 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 but the thing that really did it is a judge signed an order saying each and every worker would be fined $25,000 if they went on strike, and the union would be fined $1 million a day. Because you can negotiate, you can do all the things you should do in collective bargaining, but if you work for the federal government, the state government, or a local government, you cannot strike against that government. It's against the law. And we all have to obey the law. And unions do, the Transit Authority does, I do, you do.
This would have been disastrous, as you know, and as you've said, for the city, particularly at this time of year. So who do you think deserves the credit for
I think they all
this
do.
working
I mean,
out?
I think the union leadership, I understand the tremendous tensions in the union. It's not the union leadership. It's a dissident group that wants to take the union away from the union leadership that pushed this strike. So I understood the pressures on them. I think the Transit Authority worked really very, very well, but also all the people that work for the city, they organized a tremendous emergency response that also made the possibility of a strike less threatening, and they did a terrific job. The New York City police officers, firefighters, the Office of Emergency Management, the Corporation Counsel's Office, they did a great job.
All right. Rudy Giuliani, Mr. Mayor, thanks so much for coming by. Happy holidays. Get some sleep, will you? Right. It's 7:12 now. Here's Matt.
Katie, thank you. Two famous names are back in the news, Linda Tripp and Monica Lewinsky. In a setback for Tripp on Tuesday, a judge cleared the way for a possible wiretapping trial by ruling that she did not have immunity when she turned over secret tapes of conversations with Lewinsky to Ken Starr's office. David Irwin is Linda Tripp's attorney. Mr. Irwin, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matt.
This has to be seen as a setback to your defense. How big a setback, though?
It's a temporary setback. We were not surprised by the ruling. It's a case of first impression in Maryland. As you can imagine, has been stated before, not many people are ever prosecuted for this crime in the state of Maryland.
Let me just see if I can simplify a confusing situation. The judge is basically saying that Linda Tripp did not have immunity in the state of Maryland when she turned over these secret tape recordings to Starr's office. Is that accurate?
There was no agreement ever with the state of Maryland. That's correct. But Ms. Tripp still has protections. The testimony she gave in the federal grand jury, the investigative leads, the way the investigation was shaped, can't be separated from Judge Starr's investigation.
But Linda Tripp understood that by making this deal with Ken Starr that she was going to be able to elude prosecution in Maryland.
She hoped that, and she knew, as the Office of Independent Counsel testified this week, that there would be great impediments, great hurdles that the state would have to overcome. They still have a lot of hurdles left before this trial ever starts.
It's important to mention, though, that Ken Starr's office, or the Office of the Independent Counsel, has not turned its back on Linda Tripp.
Oh, that's correct. They came in essence, testified for her that they thought the state of Maryland should not prosecute her for this alleged offense, and they said that their intent was to give her protection.
Later in the week, Monica Lewinsky is expected to testify against Linda Tripp. What is the prosecution, and I know you don't like to do their work for them, what do you think they're looking for from Monica Lewinsky?
In this hearing, Matt, all they're looking for is to try to establish that her testimony that would come in this trial later, if the trial ever goes to court, that her testimony was not tainted by what she learned from the Office of the Independent Counsel or what she heard about Linda Tripp's testimony from the grand jury or the incredible media blitz about this case. They're trying, like in the Ollie North case, to establish an independent source of information and evidence.
Isn't it a pretty cut and dry case if she walks into court and testifies that she had no knowledge that her tape or her conversations were being recorded by Linda Tripp? That's it, isn't it?
Not at all. The anachronistic Maryland law, which requires two-party consent, that both parties to a conversation must agree to have a tape-recorded conversation, then there are other elements that the state has to prove besides just the fact that Monica did not give her consent. It has to be shown that Ms. Tripp at the time of the recording knew that it was illegal to do it.
There is, of course, a lot at stake for Linda Tripp. She faces prison time and extensive fines. How confident are you that you can win the case?
I believe that the case will be won by the defense during the motions phase. I don't personally think the case will ever go to trial.
David Irwin. Mr. Irwin, thanks very much.
Thank you, Matt.
7:16 now. Once again, here's Katie.
Matt, there was a lot of twisting and shouting in Liverpool Tuesday when a legend returned to the place where it all began. NBC's Jim Maseda was there.
Welcome to this house. Stop all that yakety yak. Welcome to this house. Stop all that yakety yak.
Paul McCartney, at 57, returned Tuesday night to the music of his boyhood, rock and roll.
Talking about this and that.
On the very spot where the Beatles were born almost 40 years ago. This night, no other Beatles, but a mix of British pop music pros.
Welcome to the cavern. It's been a long time coming. It's great to be back.
Back to the early days when John, Paul, George, and Ringo were just another lunchtime band, honing their skills. Almost 300 performances at the old Cavern here in Liverpool, torn down in the 1970s, but rebuilt brick by brick and revisited by a legend.
It's just beyond our wildest dreams. I think it's beyond anybody's wildest dreams. It's rock and roll history in the making.
Billed as the Little Big Gig, crowds watched here and around the world via satellite and the internet. While inside the small club, only a few hundred could rock out the century. Outside, up to $20,000 offered for a chance to see McCartney, but tickets were free, drawn from an international raffle. And lucky winner Kevin Reevey from Liverpool wasn't about to miss his chance.
It's a Beatle playing at the Cavern again, and I think that's where it all started.
And while some cynics point out that the Cavern Club concert is a clever PR ploy to sell his new album, many here will tell you that Paul's getting back to where he once belonged is genuine.
You know, I love it so much that I can try in my own way to recreate those feelings of when I was a kid and then my admiration for these blues and rock and roll people.
A gift, he said, he wanted to give back to Liverpool.
Tonight his presence has been felt and it's been absolutely brilliant.
Especially with the end of the millennium, it's quite significant. It's a nice way to see things out.
A tribute to the pop sound of the 20th century by perhaps its most famous musician. For today, Jim Maseda, NBC News, Liverpool.
It's 7:19. Once again, here's Matt.
Katie, cartoonist Charles Schulz announced Tuesday that he will retire after almost 50 years of drawing Charlie Brown, Snoopy, and the rest of the Peanuts gang. Schulz, who was diagnosed with colon cancer last month, says he needs time to concentrate more fully on his treatment and recovery. Recently, Al sat down with the world-famous artist to reflect on his comic strip and the characters we will not soon forget.
Who are you more like, Charlie Brown or Snoopy?
I suppose I'm more like Charlie Brown because he's more wishy-washy. But Snoopy's an illusion, you see. Snoopy likes to think that he's this independent dog who does all of these things and leads his own life, but he always makes sure that he never gets too far from that supper dish.
How long will Peanuts go? I mean, how long will you do this?
I hope that I can keep drawing it up until I become not well, or whatever you'd call it, you know, when a brain tumor strikes or something like that. But as long as I feel all right, I'll keep drawing it. But my children don't want anyone else ever to draw it. They said, no, we don't want anyone else drawing Dad's strip. And so when I either die or retire, that's the end of the Peanut strip. But that doesn't mean that there won't be other things to carry on. I suppose someone can do animated shows or greeting cards or lunch boxes or things like that. I don't know.
When all is said and done, how do you want this strip to be remembered? What do you want people to remember about Peanuts?
I would hope that it will be regarded as one of the greatest comic strips that ever existed, and that I really contributed something to the profession. They took a survey recently, and Peanuts came in as the second greatest strip of all time behind Crazy Cat. And somebody said, well, you came in second. I said, well, Casablanca came in second to Citizen Kane, which wasn't bad. And Willie Mays came in second to Babe Ruth, and a friend of mine knows Willie and said, hey, Willie, I see you came in second to Babe Ruth. He says, that's all right. I don't mind being second to Babe Ruth. And as long as I can stay second to Crazy Cat, I think I'm in good company.
Peanuts creator Charles Schulz. It's 7:21. This is Today on NBC.
I wonder how things of beauty are born, how they come to be unique. I wonder when gold discovered its shine, and why silver and platinum chose a different hue. I wonder how diamonds bend the light, and how does an artist's hand know the simple shape of elegance.
Carl Grieve, for fine jewelry and gifts from the world's most gifted designers, and for the wonder of it all.
The Lexus December to Remember sales event.
Honey, you gotta see this.
Okay.
You'll find values you never believed possible.
You like it?
A 10.
Whoa. The December to Remember sales event ends January 3rd. Missing it would definitely spoil the surprise. See Lexus of Portland.
A major inventory clearance event is now underway at Standard TV and Appliance. The year-end clearance means huge savings on dozens of name-brand products. Hurry to Standard for 12-month no-interest financing, plus clearance prices on big screen satellite systems, recliners, appliances, and more during this store-wide event. The year-end clearance, that's Standard TV and Appliance on Southeast 82nd, in Tigard on Highway 99, and Beaverton on Canyon Road.
Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to show you some new glasses that can help you if you're colorblind.
And you are, and they did, right?
They were pretty good, yeah.
Also, some holiday fashions for plus-size women. But first, your local news.
Now at Zales, celebrate the new millennium with diamonds for only $99. Dazzling diamond earrings, elegant diamond rings, even diamond heart pendants. Each just $99. A pretty great price for something that lasts a lifetime. And with any purchase of $99 or more, you can also get this rose box with classic diamond earrings for just $29 at Zales stores or shop online at zales.com.
He's the ultimate superhero. But to defeat Claw, he'll have to be faster and better than ever.
Halt! In the name of the law!
Inspector Gadget, rated PG. Now on video and Disney DVD.
4, 5, V6. Sometimes life can be really tough. You want an easier way to get around? Get to the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event, where you'll find the tough Chevy Malibu. It's the only car under $17,000 with standard V6 engine, automatic, air, and ABS. Now you can get $1,000 cash back or 2.9% APR financing on Malibu. So bypass all detours and go directly to the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event. It's your turn to save.
Today.
A free supermarket ham sounds good, but is it something you'd be proud to serve? Because this holiday calls for something truly fabulous, like the incredible honey-baked ham, the finest premium ham guaranteed. Smoked for hours and hours over hardwood chips, then smothered in that famous crackling sweet glaze, a family tradition for over 40 years. So why have ordinary when it's so easy to serve extraordinary? The honey-baked ham, only at the Honey Baked Ham store.
It's okay, it's not a live animal. It's not the shoes that you wanted.
The Lexus December to Remember sales event.
Honey, you gotta see this.
Okay.
You'll find values you never believed possible.
You like it?
A 10.
Whoa.
The December to Remember sales event ends January 3rd. Missing it would definitely spoil the surprise. See Lexus of Portland.
News Channel 8 can also be seen on these local translators. This is a News Channel 8 update.
Good morning, I'm Leslie Knopp. It's 7:27 and 48 degrees outside. Here's what's making news. Investigators don't know what caused a train to derail last night, sparking a huge natural gas fire by the steel bridge. The flames could be seen for miles. Firefighters focused their efforts on keeping this spectacular fire from spreading, especially near the steel bridge. It was 3 hours before Northwest natural gas crews got the pipeline shut off, and the fire was brought under control. The cars that derailed were filled with grain and lumber. One fell into the river. Railroad crews are still working on clearing wreckage from the tracks, and Front Avenue is closed near the steel bridge. Bill Diaz is here to tell us how the rest of the morning commute is going. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Leslie. Northbound on Southwest Macadam, right near the Selwood Bridge, an accident reported. I-5 southbound traffic in Vancouver slows from 4th Plain down across Interstate Bridge, heavy and slow, Jansen Beach to Delta Park. Inbound on the Sunset Highway, slow traffic starts back at Murray, takes you to the top of the Sylvan Hill, and outbound traffic is slow from Highway 217 out past Murray. For the Les Schwab Today Show traffic report, I'm Bill Diaz. Now with the forecast, here is Bruce Sussman.
Well, thanks a lot, Bill. Good morning. Here's First Alert Live Doppler 8000 radar. A rainy and windy day is what you see here. More rain getting ready to move into the metro area. Already has covered much of the metro area, and the heaviest stuff on the North Coast Range. As a result of that, we have flood warnings to tell you about on the Wilson River, the Nehalem, and the Siletz. Lots of moisture headed our way. Temperatures in the mid-50s today. Leslie?
All right, thanks, Bruce. That's all the time we have for now. Stay with us. We'll have another update in 25 minutes.
This News Channel 8 segment brought to you by Les Schwab Tires.
At Clackamas Town Center, the holiday possibilities are endless. From festive wrapping to holiday ornaments. From sitting pretty to riding it out. From stirring things up to taking things in stride. From tidings of comfort to joy. Clackamas Town Center, 185 stores, 5 department stores. Endless possibilities. Visit new stores, American Eagle Outfitters, Picture People, and Brookstone.
The seasons march on. That's why people who depend on the weather depend on News Channel 8's First Alert Storm Team. Backed by the power of live Doppler 8000, Joe Satilli and Matt Safino lead the Northwest's largest, most experienced team of forecasters. The First Alert Storm Team, Only on Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first.
7:30 now on this Wednesday morning, December 15th, 1999. Celine Dion singing us into this half hour with Feliz Navidad, getting these people into the holiday spirit as if that's all necessary at all, because the trees, as you can see, are lit behind them, and they're in a festive mood anyway.
I love all this Christmas music. Isn't it great? I wish we could play it all year long.
But it's nice come January 3rd when it stops.
Really? I don't know. I like it.
We're going to be hearing a lot of it in the next couple of weeks, and we're going to go outside and say hi to these people in just a few minutes. Meanwhile, back inside the studio, I'm Matt Lauer, along with Katie Kirk, and coming up in this half hour, we're going to tell you about an extraordinary scientific feat that can do an awful lot to help save endangered species. Researchers in New Orleans have successfully transferred a frozen embryo from a rare African wildcat into the womb of an ordinary house cat. We're going to find out what happened in just a few minutes. I can give you a hint. What does it eat? Anything it wants to.
Wow, that's wild, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's an amazing discovery or amazing accomplishment. We're going to see what the implications for that are.
Cool. We'll also meet a woman, Matt, in Portland, Oregon, who tried to sell a family heirloom and make it a lawsuit from NASA instead. It all has to do with moon dust. We'll explain in just a few minutes.
12 million Americans have trouble with color blindness to one extent or another. I'm one of those people, and we're going to tell you about some exciting new eyeglass lenses that can actually help correct the problem of color blindness. I tried them yesterday, took some tests, and the early results are pretty amazing.
So what did you see that you hadn't seen before?
Just, you know, those tests that you used to take as a kid where you'd look at the dots in the circle,
right.
And I used to just go, huh?
Oh, right, where you had to see sort of a shape
number
within
inside,
a circle.
right, and all of a sudden they just popped. I could see them exactly. So once I get the glasses, I want to actually go out during the day and see what the tree looks like and plants and things like that.
That'll be neat.
Yeah, nice green sweater you're wearing today.
Thank you. But before we get to all of that, we're going to go outside for a check of the weather from Al.
Today's weather is brought to you by Toysmart.com, a proud sponsor of Toys for Tots.
And good morning, everybody. And we've got a little Christmas elf over here. Who's this?
This is little Lisa.
Well, how old's little Lisa?
She's 10 months old.
I hope you didn't just feed her with the way you're shaking her up and down.
No.
Okay.
She's good to go.
Merry Christmas. Oh, and another one over here who's a little shy.
Lisa's sister.
Lisa's sister.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Al, you have a way with women.
Well, thank you. Obviously, she's in the Witness Protection Program. We appreciate that. Let's check your weather, see what's happening out there. As you can see, a snowy Midwest, Arctic Express cold air, 1 to 4 inches of snow in the western Great Lakes with snow advisories there. Rest of the country today, we are looking at gale force winds in the northwest, rain in southern Florida, icy conditions in northern New England, and fog in the central Great Lakes and also the upper Mississippi Valley. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Good morning to you on this Wednesday. If you heard the wind overnight, well, you're going to be hearing it much of the day as well. Lots of moisture and windy conditions moving in with the next storm front, which is mainly to our north right now, but will be headed our direction later on for some even heavier rain than we've been experiencing overnight. In the meantime, just rainy and windy in the Willamette Valley with winds blowing about 15 to 30 miles an hour. Also warm, 53 in Salem and Portland.
Are you okay down there? Yeah? What's your name?
Joshua.
Oh, well, thank you for coming down, sweetheart. We appreciate it. All right, let's head back inside to Matt.
All right, Al, thanks very much. Science has taken an important step in the quest to save endangered animals. For the first time ever, researchers have successfully transferred the embryo of a rare African wildcat into the womb of an ordinary house cat. 3 weeks ago, a wild kitten named Jazz was born. Betsy Dresser, Senior Vice President at the Audubon Institute Center for Research of Endangered Species, headed up the project. Betsy, good morning. Congratulations.
Good morning, Matt. Thanks a lot.
Tell me why you did this in the first place. Explain it for me.
Well, here at the Audubon Institute in New Orleans, we're a collection really of family museums dedicated to saving nature and saving endangered species. And so our mission here is really to save as many endangered species as we can. And that's why we're working on this technology to try to increase the number of babies we produce from these endangered species.
So this rare African wildcat, this wildcat is endangered. Why did you choose to implant the embryo into an ordinary house cat? What were the reasons for that?
Well, the reason a species is endangered is because it's so low in number. And if we can transfer embryos from it into more common surrogates like the house cat, then those house cats can increase the number of babies these rare species produce. So that's the reason that we chose the house cat. You know, there's over 65 million cats in households around the United States, and we just think they'd be an ideal surrogate for what's 23 species of small exotic cat, and most are endangered.
How many attempts did you make before this actually worked?
This was our 4th attempt, so we were real pleased that it worked.
Now, the kitten, again, we call her Jazz. She's only 3 weeks old. How is she doing?
It's a little male, and he's doing just fine. That's okay. And he's doing just fine, and he thinks his mother is the house cat, and she is.
Now, did he exhibit, or has he exhibited, characteristics of a wild cat or characteristics of a tamer house cat?
No, he definitely exhibits characteristics of the wildcat. When he was 2 days old, he hissed at us, and he still continues to. I mean, he's a feisty little boy.
We're watching the mother and Jazz right now, and obviously the mother has bonded very well to this kitten. But is there any fear on your part, Betsy, that the mother, as the wildcat gets older, will realize something's awry here and not treat the baby as kindly?
No, not really, we don't think, Matt. And in fact, when we wean this kitten, we will put him back with other wildcats.
What are the longer implications or longer-term implications of this? What's your next project?
Well, here at the Audubon Institute, we're working on trying to eradicate extinction, if we could, in some ways. And we have what we call the frozen zoo. And in the frozen zoo, we have embryos and sperm frozen. And so our plans are to be able to, species by species, save enough embryos so that essentially we can keep a species from going extinct. And that's what we'll do with these wildcats.
And aren't there plans to implant the embryo of a rare tiger into a lion at some point?
Down the road, that is one of the projects that we're working on, because the lioness is very common, and of course there's endangered species of tiger that we feel really need this kind of help.
And real quickly before we go, Betsy, how big will Jazz, the wildcat kitten, grow to be?
Oh, he'll be about the same size as his mother, or maybe just a little larger.
All right, Betsy Dresser, congratulations again. It's been fun to watch.
Thank you.
And they look like they're having a grand old time.
Yeah, they're wonderful cats. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you very much. It's 7:37. Up next, we'll tell you about a dispute that's brewing over moon dust. That's after these messages.
What are you doing?
Oh, just having tea and talking to a friend.
Can I talk to him too?
I don't think so. Kaldı może mamy nie papa włosy.
Toysmart.com. Thousands of good toys at great prices. And for a limited time, free shipping.
I know some French. Bonjour.
Mom, he left 5 minutes ago.
Make someone happy.
Once every 1,000 years, a Christmas like this one comes along.
Make just one heart-to-heart you sing.
So surprise her with diamonds from Kay Jewelers. Every Kay diamond is hand-selected for extraordinary color and clarity. Like Kay's diamond ring, pendant, and bracelet in a rosewood finished box, just $4.99. With diamonds from Kay Jewelers, you will make her very happy.
You will be happy too.
Is there a place where small people tell big people what to do?
There's a world you made.
Wash the world away. Start again. Clean. You're protected by Dial, the most trusted antibacterial soap of all. Dial Clean. Doesn't that feel better?
Ralph, come here. Give me a hand. Good boy. Thanks.
For those of us with only 2 hands, Scotch Brand brings you pop-up tape strips. Scotch pop-up tape strips free up both hands, so wrapping has never been easier. Pop-up tape strips from Scotch Brand. Great ideas that stick.
If you're one of the 36 million people who wear dentures, this is big. New 5-Minute Polydent cleans stains, then forms an invisible PolyShield barrier so you feel fresh all day. 5-Minute Polydent with PolyShield.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
A family heirloom left to Peggy Davis by her father, a former engineer for a NASA contractor, has been seized by NASA officials. The desk set was a gift her father received from NASA at his retirement. Because it is believed to contain moon dust from the first lunar landing, Davis may now face prosecution for allegedly harboring American moon rock. Peggy Davis, good morning.
Good morning. It's nice to meet you long distance.
Well, thank you. Same to you. And what a strange story this is. I know that Peggy, your dad was a senior engineer for NASA in the Lunar Receiving Lab in Houston. He retired in 1970, and he received this desk set as a gift. Tell me a little bit more about this desk set.
Well, it's just a little pen set, plastic, that the fellows in the lab that he worked with decorated. They put a little piece of Apollo 11 on the outside and a little piece of Apollo 12. And then on top of it, there's a plastic model of the first moon rock that was put on display. And inside this model are little swirls of moon dust and a few little tiny grains of moon rock from the Apollo 11 moon boxes.
And this was something that your father loved to have. He spent, about many years showing it to local community groups and to school kids?
Yes, he was really proud of it, and he loved talking about the space program and what had been accomplished with the Apollo flights, and he went all over the country with it.
Now, I know that shortly after he received this as a retirement gift, NASA did circulate a memo saying along the lines that moon rock and moon dust are national treasures and are not allowed to be given away. At the same time, though, Peggy, NASA officials never contacted your father and asked him to return the gift, did they?
No, they never did. They've known he's had it for 30 years.
So
or
now,
almost 30.
Now the problem arose, I guess, when you decided you were thinking of selling this, correct?
Well, that was one thought. Frankly, we didn't have documentation that it was what it was. I sent it to a dealer thinking perhaps I'd donate it to the local museum where Mom and Dad lived. But I didn't have any value placed on it. And I was hoping perhaps to get a tax deduction because I didn't think the dealer would offer me anything for it.
Right, and I know that your dad at one point had tried to get it insured and nobody could estimate the value of the object. So you went to someone who you found, I guess, in the Yellow Pages or through friends who you thought could be helpful. Then what happened?
He attempted to get a copy of that memo from NASA and to verify that Dad had indeed worked there. And NASA kind of swooped down and seized it.
This appraiser thought it might be worth about $1 million. Is that right?
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah,
yes.
It really is. So NASA seized the desk set, and basically officials there said, we'll get back to you, don't call us, we'll call you, and that was about 2 months ago?
That was about 2 months ago, yes. And I spoke to the man from NASA about a week ago to try to find out what they were doing with the testing and what had happened. And he said they hadn't completed the testing. And they were having some problems because it was such a small amount of moon material. And they hadn't been able to determine that that's what it was. And I said something to the effect of, yeah, I told you it was just a little bit before you took it. And he said, well, if indeed it proves to be from Apollo 11, we plan to prosecute you.
What was your reaction to that?
I giggled. It was such an absurd thing to think about. I mean, they've known we've had it all this time.
Do you think NASA will ever return the desk set, or do you think they're going to hold on to it?
You know, I wish I knew. I hope they'll do the right thing and give it back to me.
All right. Well, it is a strange story. I hope it all works out. Peggy
Isn't
Davis, thank you very much for talking with us. Happy holidays. Maybe you'll get your desk set back
Happy
for
holidays
Christmas.
to you, too. Oh, wouldn't that be lovely?
It would.
Thank you.
Bye, Peggy. It's 7:44. Up next, new help for colorblindness. But first, these messages.
You need to be jamming to what I'm jamming to. Will Smith.
Man, ringing it in, waiting for the ball to drop. That 2000 vault, we breaking the lock.
His videos are always jumping.
Made a pass, keep a warm spot in your heart.
He is fine. Trust me. Fine. Fine, fine.
Millennium would be the best stocking stuffer I ever had.
I'm gonna buy a lot of CDs this holiday.
Will Smith at Walmart. Holiday gifts never sounded better.
He's better than cool. He's Will Smith.
Abracadabra.
Where is my favorite nephew?
You rely on Amazon.com for an incredible selection of toys. Amazon.com relies on priority mail to get it there fast and to save you money.
There you are. A magic set? Show your auntie a magic trick.
Disappearing ant not included. What's your e-priority?
Fly like an eagle.
For sinus sufferers, it can start with a twinge or perhaps a slight pressure. For everyone, there's a signal. Your sinuses are gonna be trouble. Don't let it happen. Take Sudafed at the first sign. Untreated sinus pressure can escalate to pain. But now, taking Sudafed at the first sign releases pressure, so symptoms don't get worse.
The first sign of pressure, that's my signal.
Stop sinus pain before it starts. Take non-drowsy Sudafed at the first sign.
This holiday, over 7 million pets will be homeless. But when you buy a limited edition PetSmart ornament for $4.99, you can help. All proceeds go to PetSmart charities to benefit local homeless animals. Make a pet's holiday wish come true at PetSmart.
America Online introduces new version 5.0.
The easiest just got easier. You've got mail, you've got pictures.
Instant messages.
Customer service is always there to help.
If I knew it was this easy, I would have started a long time ago.
America Online, so easy to use, no wonder it's #1.
Hi, I'm Bob Vila. You know, your home is your sanctuary, the one place you and your children should feel safe. But there can be dangers, too, and some of them are not so obvious. Improperly wired outlets that can electrocute, water coolers that can burn, household cleaners that can kill, lead paint that can poison. To find out about them, call HUD.
For a free brochure on HUD's healthy homes and FHA loans, just call. HUD and FHA are on your side.
There is a minute in each morning when the day is fresh and ripe with possibility. A minute where you stand tall before the day, drink it all in, and say to yourself, today, the deep end. That minute was made for Minute Maid. A taste as fresh and ripe as morning itself. Drink in 100% Minute Maid Premium and squeeze the day.
There is new hope for the 12 million people in this country who are colorblind. Recently, the FDA approved a new kind of eyeglass lens that's said to help correct the problem. Optometrist Dr. John Jancy is a vice president of ColorMax, the company that developed the lenses. Dr. Jancy, good to see you.
Good to see you, Matt.
I'm one of the people in this country, and by the way, more men than women are colorblind, and I'm one of those men who is colorblind, and I've been hearing the questions my whole life of, what's it like not to see in colors, which isn't correct. Explain for me what colorblindness is.
Well, basically, it's a red-green confusion. People who are colorblind have a difficulty in differentiating between certain shades of reds and greens. It's not all reds and greens.
Right, we see blues and yellows and things like that, so It's not that we're seeing in black and white.
That's correct.
Let's take a look. You have a couple of graphics here that might explain how someone who's colorblind sees the world versus someone who has normal vision. This is the green weak colorblindness, and on the left is probably what I see normally, and on the right is what someone with normal vision would see. Can you explain the difference between the two?
That's right. Well, this particular type of color deficiency is called deuteranomaly, or green weakness, and basically greens are just not seen as bright or as vivid, as you can see from the left side of the screen there. This is the most common type of color blindness, actually.
The other form of color blindness is red weak, and we're seeing an example of what that would look like to someone with that condition now.
Exactly. And again, you can see the red leaves of the poinsettia plant there are much more desaturated, weaker in color, basically.
Now, before you can go about correcting color blindness, you have to figure out exactly which type of condition the patient has. And yesterday, you took me to an office here in New York and gave me a couple of tests. The first one's called the Ishihara test.
That's correct.
Explain to me what that was.
Well, that's basically a series of colored dots, as you mentioned earlier, that are shown up against a background of colored dots, different colors. For a person who's colorblind, they have great difficulty in differentiating between the green figures and the background.
Now, I got about one of these or two of these where I actually saw the number within the dots, and then the rest of the pages you flipped, I was at a complete loss. I was either guessing or I didn't see anything at all.
Exactly.
So you determined from that what?
Well, we found out, first of all, that it is true. You do have a color deficiency. Then we had to proceed to a second test to find out more about it, the type and the severity.
And this is called the D15 test. And explain what I'm being asked to do here.
Well, here you're doing what's called a hue discrimination test. You're matching up colors, one with the other, to arrange them in a natural progression. And actually, you did this test quite normally. What that tells us is that your deficiency is only mild.
All right.
Not severe.
Then you tried out a number of different corrective lenses on me and came up with the one that you thought would best correct my color blindness.
Right.
And let's take a look at how that worked for my particular case. Oh, it's amazing. First of all, the colors you see with the glasses on are not even close to the colors you see without them. When I look at these without the glasses, it's brown and rust and no numbers, maybe a little green in the middle. But with the glasses, it's gold and brown and purple in the middle that stands out in the 5 and the 3. I have to say that some of the numbers that I hadn't seen in the first place literally did jump off the page when I put on the lenses. And we should also mention that's just the fitting pair. You wouldn't have to walk around with that set of eyeglasses. They would look like normal eyeglasses. Do these work for everyone?
For most everyone who's color deficient, there will be a significant improvement. There are certain types of color blindness that are absolute, in which cases it wouldn't help. But fortunately, they're very, very rare.
And I know it's been a long development process, but can you describe in layman's terms how this is correcting my color blindness?
Yes, well, imagine your color TV set with the red-green control too far to the right. Everything looks too red, or perhaps too far to the left, everything looks green. You can simply rebalance the colors. That's what these lenses do.
How much would they cost?
They range from about $4.99 to $6.99, depending on the type of condition.
And I think it's real important to talk about the implications of this, and especially when it comes to dealing with children.
Exactly. Lots of young children, primarily males, have a color deficiency that's undiagnosed, and it can interfere with learning and performance in school, particularly when there's color-coded tasks that need to take place, such as looking at maps, color computer screens, and so forth.
Dr. John Jancy, I'm looking forward to getting a set of the glasses and then going outside and actually looking at the real world to see what I've been missing. And thanks for the experiment. I appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Matt.
It's 7:52. For more information on the new ColorMax lenses, you can check out our website at today.msnbc.com. And at 7:52, we're back with more on a Wednesday morning right after these messages.
Hello, I am Andy.
His life was short.
I want to be the biggest star in the world.
His career was controversial.
You're insane.
But the mark he left on the world was permanent. Man on the Moon is a major achievement, raves Premier Magazine. Roger Ebert and Joel Siegel give it 2 thumbs way up. Woo! And Rolling Stone calls it a comic wallop of a movie. Jim Carrey.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Man on the Moon, rated R, starts December 22nd.
Where will you be when your grandson gets his first taste of the ocean? When man walks on Mars? When your children want to discover their heritage? Life is filled with moments you don't want to miss. That's why if you have high cholesterol and heart disease, you should know about Zocor. Zocor is proven to help save lives by reducing the risk of a heart attack. So where will you be tomorrow? That could depend on what you do today. When diet and exercise aren't enough, talk to your doctor about adding Zocor. Zocor is a prescription medication and is not right for everyone, including women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant, or people with liver problems. Your doctor may do blood tests to check for liver problems, because serious side effects can result. Tell your doctor about any muscle pain or weakness you experience while on Zocor, and about any medicines you are taking. For more information, talk to your doctor or call. Zocor, it's your future. Be there.
I'm starting to panic. You've got to help me with my boyfriend's Christmas list.
Always ready to shop. Who first? Bob. Disco Bob? Oh, that's easy. A CD box set.
Philip.
He needs the Abdominator.
You're terrible.
Okay, Harold. A nice watch.
Harold's brother.
What? I know. Well, they can share the watch.
Search, find, buy in a snap at snap.com. Shop at Snap for $20 off your first purchase, including holiday decorating and gifts from garden.com.
When the world's all cloaked in white, we're waking up to seek the perfect sight. Folgers warm in each heart, mountain-grown aroma doing its part. But the tree we love so much was too beautiful to touch, so we left it there for everyone to share. A very happy holiday to you from Folgers.
What if you could treat wrinkles like an expert would? With Rock, the #1 anti-wrinkle cream in France, you can. Developed with dermatologists, Rock's pure and active form of vitamin A works deeper, inside skin surface. In a 12-week study, the appearance of fine lines was reduced by 86%, wrinkles by 42%. Something more superficial beauty treatments could never promise. Rock, we keep our promises.
Still to come, we'll check out the opening of the new Gone with the Wind Museum.
And holiday fashions for larger women. But first, these messages and your local news.
Just in time for the holidays at Circuit City. Get an instant $400 toward any Circuit City purchase when you sign up for 3 years of CompuServe 2000 Premier Internet Service, only $21.95 per month. Just sign up at Circuit City, and we'll hand you a $400 merchandise card instantly, good toward anything in our store. Apply your $400 merchandise card to a computer, camcorder, big screen TV, or refrigerator. It's $400 of whatever you want, only at Circuit City.
The rain, the snow, the ice, tough weather needs tough traction. At Les Schwab, we've just made the largest special purchase of snow tires in our company's history. We're passing the savings on to you. In traction, our best selection ever. All seasons to all tracks. Winter Tracks HK1, Snowflex. For a studded tire alternative, ask about the Observe. To save time and money, Les Schwab Snow Wheels. If you need them, quick fit tire chains, batteries, Les Schwab's XHD. Winter driving starts at the Les Schwab side.
News Channel 8 can also be seen on these local translators. This is a News Channel 8 update.
Good morning, I'm Leslie Knopp. It's 7:57 and 48 degrees outside. Here's what's making news this morning. Traffic is moving again on top of the steel bridge after a spectacular fire. A train derailed below the bridge last night, causing a fire that sent flames high into the air. The freight train was maneuvering a curve when it jumped the tracks and hit a gas line. It happened just before 9 o'clock and took more than 3 hours to bring under control. Officials were worried about heat damage to the steel bridge, but inspectors found no problems this morning and cleared it for use. The fire delayed a passenger train service overnight, but an Amtrak train leaving for Seattle at 8:45 this morning is on schedule. Let's check on the morning commute this morning with Bill Diaz.
Thank you, Leslie. Northbound on Southwest Macadam, right near the Selwood Bridge, there's a wreck. I-5 southbound traffic slows in Hazeldale, also right near the Interstate Bridge, down through Delta Park, and near the Fremont Bridge, where there's a stall from I-5 southbound to the top deck of the Fremont Bridge. Inbound of the Sunset Highway, that slow traffic continues from Cornell Road past Highway 217 at the top of the hill. For the Les Schwab Today Show traffic report, I'm Bill Diaz. Now with the forecast, here's the birthday boy, Bruce Sussman.
Oh, very funny, Bill. I'll get you for that one. All right, here's First Alert Live Doppler 8000 radar. Quite a bit of rain pushing in from the west right now. You can see it's pushing in towards Tualatin and Portland, past Hillsboro, and it's going to look like this throughout the day. Where's all the moisture coming from? It's a tropical connection down near Hawaii that is fanning out over the northwest. Rain at times in the Cascades, and the snow level headed up to 7,000 feet. Rainy and windy in the valley, temperatures in the 50s. Leslie?
Happy birthday, Bruce. That's all for now. We'll be back in 25 minutes.
This News Channel 8 segment brought to you by Les Schwab Tires.
Shoulders to relax your arms.
Grandpa? Hey, boo-boo.
Volkswagen Jetta. Completely redesigned to give you even more of that same old feeling.
Only 3 days left to give to the Great Toy Drive. Drop off donations now at Les Schwab or KGW. The Northwest News Channel 8 Great Toy Drive, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
If your kids go online, they are being stalked by sexual predators.
That stranger is coming into the house through the computer.
Now, if you don't think this is happening to your children, you are so wrong. Protect your children. Next Oprah.
Today at 4 on Northwest News Channel 8.
We're back at 8 o'clock on this Wednesday morning. It's December the 15th, 1999, and you're looking at all the people who've come to Rockefeller Plaza to rock around the Christmas tree on this Wednesday morning, all getting into the holiday spirit as Amy Grant croons a holiday favorite.
You sound like one of those late-night FM DJs.
I was trying to. Oh, brother. Meanwhile, back inside Studio 1A, I'm Katie Couric, along with Matt Larenow Roker. And just a few minutes ago, we were talking about new advances to help correct color blindness and the inability to speak. And as we saw, Matt did on the test for color blindness, what's it called, the Ishihara test?
I didn't do too well on that one.
No, and you actually, Matt was telling us earlier how when you were a little boy, your mom would say, tell him what you see.
Well, it was frustrating because you couldn't see it and you were expected to see it and you felt, insecure about it. But let's try and see how you both do. And I'll hold it. And can we get a shot here over the shoulder? And you tell me what number you see in the middle of all those dots.
Go ahead, Al.
That's an 8. 29.
5, 3.
3.
See, now I don't see either of those.
Really?
No.
Really?
Okay. I see nothing
15,
here.
74.
Right.
Wow, you see this? And you see anything
that's a
there?
6.
And a 45.
These are complete just balls of dots to me.
Really?
But if I put these glasses on, it's amazing. It jumps off the page. I can see that. This is 45?
Yes.
6 there. I can see, I saw nothing here. This one really jumps out, 74 and 15.
What color are the numbers in this
The
one?
numbers, it's weird. To me, they're purple, but the doctor told me yesterday they're green.
They are green.
But they look purple to me, and maybe that's how
But at least you can see them.
But I can see them now where I couldn't before. And again, the fun's going to be later in the day when it gets a little brighter out to go out and just look around and look at plants and look at some of my clothes in my closet and see what colors they really are, what colors you've been seeing for all these years and laughing at.
I'm looking at you in those glasses.
Kind of John Lennon-ish, aren't they?
Yeah, they're cute. And also, the doctor was saying that they're trying to develop contact lenses with the same technology,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. But it's a whole new world for colorblind people, so it's kind of cool.
And it's amazing. Annette
Can I
has
see
blonde
what it
hair.
feels?
Does she?
Yeah.
I married a blonde,
Exactly.
huh? What do you see? You
I
just see a tint.
like all these different weird colors, and the teleprompter, which is usually white, is now purple.
Well, you're having some kind of
Isn't that weird?
flashback. I'm not sure.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, well, thank you. That's interesting, actually, and it is important because you were saying 1 out of 12 men are
And 1 out of
colorblind,
250
is colorblind.
women, right.
Yeah.
So it's much more of a problem for men.
Anyway, I wonder why. And they don't know?
I don't know.
Are they going to do some lenses that correct baldness?
I'll sign up for those soon, too. Put me down on the list.
Anyway, coming up in this half hour, just because you are not a size 6 or 8, it doesn't mean you can't look glamorous this holiday season. We're going to show you some festive fashions designed to flatter the full-figured woman.
And 60 years ago tonight, the movie Gone with the Wind premiered in Atlanta. And tonight, in Atlanta, a museum devoted exclusively to that movie will have its grand opening. We'll have a preview of that.
So what are some of the things they have inside that
It's
museum?
the portrait of Scarlett, the Paris bonnet. They've got some of the memorabilia.
Do they have her dress from the party?
I don't think so, no, but they've got some of the memorabilia that came from the premiere and some of the dolls that were created after the movie. So it's going to be fun to go through it.
Of course, Atlanta being the home of Margaret Mitchell.
Exactly, right. And the museum is right near the Margaret Mitchell
Didn't her
house.
home burn down in
They
96?
restored that.
I think the museum burned down. Was that?
I think it was the home.
It was her home?
It was the home, yes.
And also, she was hit by a car on Peachtree, and that's how she died, which I always thought was a terrible fate. Anyway, well, we're just very chatty this morning, aren't we? But first, we've got the news and Ann Curry. Ann, good morning again.
Good morning again to you, Katie, and all of you this morning. And there is news to get to this morning. History could be made in the making today as peace talks begin between old enemies in the Middle East. The Prime Minister of Israel and the Foreign Minister of Syria meet at the White House this morning for the first time in 3.5 years. Syria wants to regain land it lost to Israel in a 1967 war in exchange for peace. Police in Charlotte, North Carolina are searching for Carolina Panthers wide receiver Ray Carruth on first-degree murder charges. Carruth's girlfriend died on Tuesday from wounds she suffered in a drive-by shooting last month. She was 6.5 months pregnant when she was shot, forcing an emergency delivery. The baby is now out of intensive care. Carruth and 3 others were originally charged with attempted murder in the shooting. His bail has now been revoked. Cuban President Fidel Castro has new complaints in the custody fight over Elian Gonzalez. In a 4-hour interview, Castro told NBC News Tuesday that he fears the little boy is being manipulated by his relatives in Miami and has had too much contact with anti-Castro Cuban Americans. He also says Elian should be sent back to Cuba to be with his father soon because the longer he stays in the U.S., the harder it will be for him to readapt. Cuban detainees being held by the Immigration Service say time is running out in a tense hostage standoff in Louisiana. In a dramatic interview, they said the standoff could turn deadly if their demands aren't met. NBC's Kerry Sanders has this story.
The St. Martin Parish Jail in Louisiana. At least 2 guards and the warden held hostage since Monday by armed prisoners, Cuban detainees demanding freedom or else. Their threat to kill the hostages made clear during an interview with Baton Rouge radio station WCAC-FM.
What a 72-hour limit.
72 hours?
Yes.
And then what happens?
So when the 72 hours up, they're going to give us none of what we're asking for, and we're only asking it under our human rights to be treated like a human. And since we no longer want to be part of the United States of America to send it to a third country, we're willing to die.
Yeah, I understand
that. We know they're going to kill us, so we're going to take the deputies with us too.
A guard held hostage is then handed the phone.
Where do you think things stand at this point?
I have no idea, sir.
Okay.
I myself can't even get a straight answer from my people right now.
Cubans who commit crimes in the U.S. in a unique group. After serving their sentences, they can't be released because they can't be deported back to Cuba. The U.S. has no diplomatic relations with that country. This morning, the government is in a catch-22 situation, unable to send the Cubans home and unwilling to set them free in this country. Left in the middle, the hostages in Louisiana. Kerry Sanders, NBC News.
It is now 8:06, time to go back to Katie and Matt.
All right, Ann, thanks so much.
Thanks. And we're going to check out the weather right now with Mr. Al Roker.
And thank you very much, Mr. Lauer. And out here, there's a busy sign. You got St. Mary's Hospital, ICU, telemetry. What are you, launching satellites there?
We are, Al.
What is telemetry in a hospital?
Telemetry is a step-down unit. People are on cardiac monitors, but they can walk around.
I see, okay. And Centralia, Illinois?
Centralia.
Centralia. Right. Well, Merry Christmas.
Thank you, Merry to you.
And we've got some other folks over here from North Andrews Garden Elementary School of the Arts. All right, and where are you guys all doing? What are you all doing? What are you doing here?
We're on a field trip.
On a field trip? And what are you doing while you're at the field trip?
Everything.
Everything. All right, well, we appreciate it. And I hope you're having a good time, okay? Yeah. Great. Let's find out about your weather in this half hour, shall we? And on the satellite, you can see we've got a lot of wet weather in the northwest, gale force winds, and all that heavy rain in New England. Now changing over to some snow. Windy conditions as you get up into the northwest, cool down in Texas, and showers continue in central and southern Florida. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Good morning to you on this Wednesday. Here's our satellite map showing all the clouds and the moisture moving in over Oregon and Washington. As we zoom out to the wide view, you can see there's a tropical connection. And basically what that tells you is that we're in for quite a bit of rainfall today and the early part of tomorrow. Rainy and windy for the Willamette Valley today. Flood potential along parts of the Coast Range rivers. And temperatures warm in the low to mid-50s. Have a great Wednesday.
That's your latest weather. Now back inside to Katie.
Okay, Al, thanks a lot. Up next, a sneak preview of a new museum in Atlanta devoted to Gone with the Wind. But first, these messages.
Before I quit
quit smoking, I asked my doctor, is Nicorette safe? And he said, of course Nicorette is safe. Smoking is not. Nicorette has been proven safe and effective in dozens of clinical trials. And Nicorette offers the Committed Quitter Support Program, which my doc said is clinically proven to increase my chances of success by up to 50%. And when he told me that only Nicorette comes in mint, I knew that that was the right choice for me. So I took my doctor's advice, and you know what? It worked.
You can do it. Nicorette can help.
It's not just another Christmas. It's the Christmas that marks the end of the century and the beginning of a new millennium. To commemorate this most important holiday, Teleflora chose one of America's most beloved artists, Charles Wysocki, to create our exclusive Wysocki Christmas Bowl Bouquet. Make it a Christmas to remember. Give someone a lifetime of memories. Call or visit your Teleflora florist.
To find the perfect gift for the barbecue lover in your life, at Gifts.com, we test all kinds of gift ideas.
You got your ribeye steak, T-bone steak, corn-fed steak. Excellent gift. You got your cube steak? It's a bad gift. We don't do cube steak.
So when you're looking for just the right gift, come to Gifts.com. Tell us about the people you're shopping for, and we'll tell you about some great gifts. Gifts.com, just the perfect gifts. Register now at Gifts.com and get $10 off your next purchase of $50 or more.
Strange? Not as strange as buying Equal when Naturataste contains the same sweetener at a sweeter price.
With its spacious interior and serious sound system, the 2000 Ford Focus is a party waiting to happen.
When you shop JCPenney online this season, it opens up a whole new world with 200,000 holiday gifts to choose from. So whether you shop us online, by catalog, or in-store, you'll discover a world of difference at JCPenney.
Okay, now get the stick, okay? Get the stick, rascal! Get the stick! It's gotta be the puppy chow.
Purina recently reformulated Puppy Chow, so there's no better way to get your puppy off to a great start. Purina Puppy Chow helps build strong bones and muscles and supports a healthy immune system, the building blocks your growing puppy needs for a long, strong, and exceptional life. Incredible puppy food, incredible puppies. Purina Puppy Chow brand.
Coming up later today, now he's making movies. Rob Schneider on what it's like to be Deuce Bigelow, male gigolo.
Who?
On the next Later Today. It's like today, only later.
60 years ago tonight, the world was introduced to one of the classic films of all time. The city of Atlanta threw a movie premiere unlike any other for Gone with the Wind, the eagerly anticipated film based on Margaret Mitchell's Pulitzer Prize-winning novel. Now, the Margaret Mitchell House and Museum in Atlanta has chosen this anniversary to open a new museum showcasing the film and its legacy. Herb Bridges' personal collection of memorabilia is part of that exhibit. Herb, good morning. Nice to see you.
Good morning. We're delighted that you're filming here at the museum in Atlanta.
Well, it's nice to see you again. Tell me how the museum, this new museum, differs from the Margaret Mitchell House that is close by.
Well, the Mitchell House is dedicated to Margaret Mitchell in the book. The new museum will show the movie, how the movie was made, and just what happened to it through the years.
And I understand,
it's a fun place.
I understand that the exhibits are broken down into three major sections, and the first deals with the film itself. And in the background there, over your shoulder, I can see one of the key parts of that exhibit. That's the portrait of Scarlett O'Hara.
Yes, it is. That was a major item in Rhett Butler's bedroom in the movie. It's a tremendous portrait, and we're delighted to have it in the museum.
Actually, that's the portrait that Rhett Butler threw a drink at in the movie, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and you can see there's a slight dent in the canvas there where that glass hit it when he threw that in the film.
And one of the things I found interesting was that, Herb, that portrait was actually hanging in an elementary school for several years, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was in the Margaret Mitchell Elementary School in Atlanta, and the children would sort of go by and kind of poke it a bit. But the city of Atlanta and the school system has allowed us to show it in the proper place in this museum, and we're delighted it's here.
I want to go through a couple of the other items in the film portion of the exhibit. One is the Paris bonnet. What's that all about?
Oh, that's a very famous item. Remember in the story, Rhett Butler brings Scarlett this hat from Paris, and it's a green hat, and she's so delighted to receive it. And we have the actual bonnet here in the museum, and I think particularly the young ladies will like to see this Paris bonnet. It has the proper label and everything in it.
The second section of the exhibit we want to talk about deals with the premiere itself, again 60 years ago tonight in Atlanta, and it was not your typical premiere. The city of Atlanta went all out for this film, didn't it?
Oh, it was a great event in Atlanta. Everybody turned out for this. Even the school children were permitted to be out of class so they could go downtown in Atlanta and stand on the sidewalk and see the movie stars come by on a parade. And then, of course, all the movie stars attended the premiere and received great fanfare from the fans. And it was just a tremendous event in our city. We'd never seen anything like that before.
One of the more controversial aspects of the premiere, Herb, was that none of the African-American stars of the movie attended because of discrimination. Isn't that correct?
Yes, at that time. But that's a time that's long past, and we're delighted that it's changed. But at that time, the African-American actors were not invited. But Hattie McDaniel did attend the Hollywood premiere, and she had a great event there and later received her Academy Award.
And from the premiere, there are tickets, there are posters, and there are newspaper clippings that are part of the exhibit. The third part of the display, I understand, deals with the legacy of the movie, and that's where a lot of your personal collection comes in. What have you placed in there?
Well, several things there, because it was very commercialized at that time, as we do today. They made all kind of products to sell in the department stores and in dime stores, and those are fun things to find. Did you know they had Scarlett perfume that sold for $1 in the dime store, and I'm sure that was a very fragrant smell. But they had Scarlett O'Hara paper doll books and paint books and games, Scarlett O'Hara games and kerchiefs and handkerchiefs and all things like that. And those things are fun to look for and find in flea markets or yard sales.
I know you're going to open this museum today or this evening, but what's the early response been, Herb? What kind of interest do you expect?
We've had great interest in the city of Atlanta, and we are delighted that they are receiving this permanent museum here in connection with the Margaret Mitchell House. And I think particularly the visitors to Atlanta, the tourists and so forth, will be delighted to see a movie exhibit here in the city also.
Well, Herb Bridges, it's always nice to have you here on Today. We appreciate your help.
Oh, thank you. Had a good time.
Thanks, and happy holidays. Coming up next, some holiday fashions for plus-size women. That's right after these messages.
Welcome to the home of the co-op of growers who make Florida's natural premium orange juice. They own the land, the trees, and the company, so they know the secret to making great juice is to do nothing. Nothing to compromise the orange's natural sweetness. Nothing to rush the ripening process. And while this may not make for much excitement around town,
not yet,
it does make for one great tasting orange juice. Florida's natural. Taste the difference.
You know what I like about working at Office Depot during the holidays? Customers like Greg McCormick. He's so nice. His company makes peppermint candy canes, and he loves giving them out to just about everyone while he does his holiday shopping. He also loves saving money on everything he buys. Lucky for us, though, the holidays come only once a year. All that candy gets to be pretty tempting.
Shop Office Depot, online or in our store.
Thanks for shopping Office Depot.
Here, have a candy cane.
Bye.
Now at Zales, celebrate the new millennium with diamonds for only $99. Dazzling diamond earrings, elegant diamond rings, even diamond heart pendants, each just $99. A pretty great price for something that lasts a lifetime. And with any purchase of $99 or more, you can also get this rose box with classic diamond earrings for just $29 at Zales stores or shop online at zales.com.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Discover Estee Lauder Pleasures.
For me.
Log
Log on and shop at home. Howto.com, headquarters for living.
We've been celebrating Christmas together for about 10 years.
We kind of got our own little group thing going on.
We usually get ideas from each other.
A lot of times we spread out, and sometimes we stay together and just go down aisle by aisle.
Once we get the shopping done, then we have our
wrapping party.
Wrapping party.
Walmart is great at Christmas time. It's convenient, it's affordable, and
you can find just about anything for anybody. She's got to have it.
It's a tradition. Every year it's the same thing.
Three amigos go to Walmart.
Tim, you know how kids ask what your dad does? Nobody ever asked me. Richard, when your last name is Smucker and you live in Orville, everybody knows what your dad does.
These two Smuckers grew to make the jam their great-grandfather made, the same delicious way.
Everybody knows? Who told them?
For more than 100 years, with a name like Smuckers, it has to be good.
Tonight,
it's revolting.
not even Law and Order is ready for this.
It's like you've entered the fourth circle of hell.
All new Law and Order, NBC tonight.
This morning on Today's Woman, holiday fashions for sizes 12 and up. With Christmas just 10 days away and the millennium clock winding down, it's time to start thinking about what you'll be wearing for all the festivities. Michelle Weston, Fashion and Style Director of Mode Magazine, is here with some suggestions. Michelle, welcome back. So nice to see you.
So nice to see you. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Same to you. You're looking very festive, and we'll get to your outfit in a moment.
Absolutely.
Unless you'd like to talk about it now.
We have new designers coming up. This is Oscar by Oscar de la Renta, little Ellen Tracy Sparkle, and Lauren Ralph Lauren is now sizing up for women.
Isn't that great? I mean, you must be so delighted that some of these designers are actually taking the plunge for larger women.
Everybody should be able to have great style. Mode believes in that. And we welcome these designers and proceed to see more coming up this spring with DKNY.
Oh, that's great. That's exciting. Well, tell me what's in for the holidays for larger sizes and smaller sizes too.
You know
what? There's no difference.
No, I don't think that there's any woman who doesn't sort of go into the fear mode thinking about dressing for a party. But you have to play up your assets. We've got a great hourglass figure look with the ballroom skirt. This is a great look this season. $75 for the skirt from Lord & Taylor. And this is a Gianni sweater with a little marabou. $85 in the color red this season, which is absolutely the best color.
And I know that you say the ballroom skirts are great for fuller figures because they can hide
accent those curves, and you can really give a shapely silhouette. Whether you've got an hourglass figure, or you can do a little fuller figure with a train, you have a lot of options this season.
Okay, and as you said, these pieces are both very reasonable.
Absolutely. A little touch of jewelry, and there you go with a little beading.
Okay, now, speaking of beading, it's like bead central on everything, right?
On everything. Carol Little does the best 20s flapper dress this season. And you were asking me before if this dress worked on a lot of figures. I think so. I think it hides and accents just in the right places.
Well, the reason I mention that is because it's knit. And a lot of women, if they, aren't picture perfect in terms of their figure, see knits and go.
But if you've got nice shape underneath with a great foundation, you are going to be fabulous at a party.
And by the way, I mean, there are a lot of great body slimmers now that kind of hold everything in.
Oh, you think I don't have one on? Absolutely.
Right, but I mean, people should know about it because they do. They're incredible.
You have to work from the inside out. You've got to have
how they make your body look,
foundations.
and they just get rid of all that lumpiness.
All those
lovely.
places, all those places so clothes just fall over the silhouette.
All right.
I love the crochet, and you're seeing necklaces. This is a ribbon cut that you can buy for $20,
this
which is
really
pretty.
I just want to show everybody
Yeah,
at
it's
home
really,
that
really
it's
pretty.
Got some ribbon behind it. And how much is this ensemble?
About $150 and about $118 for the crochet little jacket. You should be able to take this crochet jacket and stick it over other dresses. So don't feel like you're not buying something that you can take out on the road and get a little more longevity.
Or just with a pair of nice black pants and a white T-shirt, that would look cute.
Be fabulous.
Honey, okay.
Let's go.
Yes.
Now, this is a surprise. I know this is a great dress, but what we love about it at Mode is this is from Lane Bryant. It's $99. It's got a red underlining, which is really, really beautiful. And I also see it's really pretty. It just has that shimmer underneath.
Right.
And I also love that it has some jewelry detail on the back.
Wow, that is cool,
Isn't it?
So
Pretty?
this is, you don't buy this and stick it on the dress. This
It
comes
just
on the
comes
dress.
this way. You can also add to a dress that you have for a little allure.
And that's kind of sexy, isn't it?
And this will
Have that
work
your
on
back.
all shapes.
Okay.
Okay? And I love the thinner strap. This is a very, very sexy style. Mo believes in playing to your assets and playing down the things that you'd rather not speak about.
All right, but shoulders are a good thing.
Shoulders are a
can be
fabulous
very
thing.
sexy.
And you know, the piece of the season, the shawl this season, try the pashmina
pashmina.
shawl in color.
Right.
Burgundy or red would be great with this.
And even black, right?
Even black.
With some beading, we were talking about
A
that
little
earlier.
beading.
And pashminas are quite expensive, but you can
You know
find
what?
some pashminas that are a little less costly. That
They
still
start
look
at
and
$99 and they go work up from there.
Nice. Okay, great.
Yeah.
This is pretty. All right. And finally.
And last but not least, if you're traveling for the holidays to warmer climes, this is Douay per Douay. I love this beaded twin set. The details, the beading is just in the right places. Again, you can wear these pieces in more places. A capri pant in a silk shantung is lovely. And this seafoam green is so alluring. It's really, really lovely.
And as you said, I guess they're showing a lot more beading on day wear, too. So you could pair this with a pair of gray flannel pants and...
Absolutely.
And not just use it for holiday or for dress up.
Yeah, you should take your clothes farther than you normally do. And Mo believes in working your clothes as you work your curves.
All right. Well, Michelle Weston, thanks so much for coming in. You look great.
Thank you.
And all the clothes are beautiful, and I hope you have a great holiday.
I will.
Good to see you. Happy 19... Oh, happy
2000.
2000. Thanks, Michelle. Anyway, now here's Matt.
All right, Katie, thanks. We want to remind you that in just a few minutes, we'll continue our toy drive out in the plaza. This year, already we've collected more than 75,000 toys for kids who would otherwise go without them this holiday season. We're glad we can help, and we're very grateful to the folks who've dropped by to help out with us and to the companies that have also donated. We have more of that coming up on Today in a moment after these messages and your local news.
Football legend Joe Theismann and Ed Harris get it live.
Imagine smooth, beautiful skin without having to use a razor again. Millions of men and women are looking for permanent solutions for unwanted body hair. Now Laser's Edge brings you the latest in laser hair removal technology. You can have the smooth, soft skin you've always desired through an affordable technique that is safe, gentle, and long-lasting. Call now for more information or a free private consultation. Laser's Edge, bringing laser hair removal technology into the 21st century.
Joy, 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 the joy of giving.
If you're entertaining this year, keep in mind Fred Meyer has everything you need to give your home that warm holiday feel. Plus all those great holiday foods to make your party a big success.
It's the season for joy.
The joy of giving. You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
This is a News Channel 8 update.
Good morning. It is 8:26 right now at 48 degrees outside. I'm Carl Click along with Debbie Doran. Here's what's happening in local news. Investigators don't know what caused a train to derail last night, sparking a huge natural gas fire by the steel bridge. The flames could be seen for miles. Firefighters focused their efforts on keeping that fire from spreading, especially near the steel bridge. It was 3 hours before Northwest Natural Gas crews could turn that pipeline off, shut it off, and then the fire was brought under control. The cars that derailed were filled with grain and lumber. One fell into the Willamette. Last night, the fire delayed passenger train service in and out of Union Station, but an Amtrak train leaving for Seattle at 8:45 this morning will be on schedule. However, passengers from Eugene, Albany, and Salem were bused to Portland because the tracks were shut down overnight. And Front Avenue near the steel bridge is closed this morning. Crews are still working to clear debris from the railroad tracks there. You want to avoid that area if you can. And we're going to check on traffic now. We're going to go out to Bill Diaz, who has his eye on things for us. Hi, Bill.
Hey, Carl. Northbound on Southwest McAdam, right near the Selwood Bridge, they've cleared an earlier wreck, but we still have big problems inbound the Sunset Highway. Still traffic starts back at Murray, takes you to the top of the hill, and outbound slow right past Highway 217. On I-5 northbound this morning, heavy traffic continues from Taylor's Ferry into the Terwilliger curves. For the Les Schwab Today Show traffic report, I'm Bill Diaz. Now with the forecaster's Bruce Sussman.
Well, thanks a lot. Here's what's going on with First Alert Live, Doppler 8000 radar. Our radar beam cutting across the Willamette Valley, rain beginning again in Salem, moving into the Portland area, and heavy rain in the North Coast Range. Because of that, Well, we've got flood warnings. We'll talk about that in a second. Outside right now, a live look from our Northwest Sky Cam at OMSI Tower, 48 degrees. And if you've been hearing the wind all night, no wonder our peak wind gusts so far, 31 miles an hour in downtown Portland. Now, the flood warnings for the Wilson River, the Nehalem, and the Siletz River, all Coast Range rivers. Lots of rainfall in the Coast Range, and it's all got a tropical connection, and it's going to keep us wet really right on through the early part of tomorrow. Rainy and windy in the valley with highs in the mid-50s today. Carl?
Okay, Bruce, thank you very much. That is it for local news. We'll have more for you throughout the morning. Stay tuned. Right now, we go back to the Today Show.
Hurry up! You'll be late for school!
It's that time of year when sooner or later you wonder, will it or won't it?
Wait, now I hear school's closed.
School closures? News Channel 8 will tell you about them instantly.
Look for the list at the bottom of your screen, just like this.
Or log on to KHW.com.
We track all area schools and many organizations as well.
Okay, it's definitely open.
School closures. Find out first on Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first.
This Friday,
one wishes to have more expression.
See the film critics are calling a wonderful holiday movie.
Andrew? Yes. He's had an upgrade.
Bicentennial Man is full of heart and soul. A must-see movie.
It is a household appliance, and yet you act like it is a man.
Robin Williams is brilliant.
I am trying to make something of myself. How's it going?
Bicentennial Man.
Do you have any friends? Only Wolfie. That is the extent of his skills.
A Chris Columbus film, rated PG, starts December 17th.
8:30 now on this Wednesday morning. It's the 15th day of December, 1999. A breezy, chilly, damp morning here in the Northeast, but also a holiday morning. And you're looking at our elf for today. That's Susan Sosnicki, one of our Today Show staffers, collecting gifts and toys and books from the people who've gathered here in Rockefeller Center. It's all part of our 6th annual toy drive. And so far this year, if you didn't hear a few minutes ago, we have donated 75,000 gifts to children who wouldn't otherwise have anything during the holiday season. And we can't tell you how much we appreciate all of your support. And we'd like to also thank Avon Products and Hanford Press for their donations to the Children's Aid Society right here in New York City. And of course, we want to thank Bloomingdale's. Every year they are so great to us. Ann Keating is here representing Bloomingdale's. Ann, happy holidays.
Happy
nice
holidays
to see you.
And we are thrilled to be here and be a part of this wonderful effort. So we have 2,000 toys that we've joined with 2 of our vendors, Yak Pack and also Fun Cosmetics, as well as our Teletubby Snow Globe. And we're just thrilled to give them all to the toys to the children in New York.
It really gives you a great feeling to be a part of this, doesn't it?
It's wonderful. And all of our associates and our people in Bloomingdale's have also answered many Dear Santa letters. So they're joining them with this donation is just wonderful for us.
Well, Ann, thanks to you
Thank
again,
you.
and thanks. Happy holidays, and thanks to all the folks at
Thank you so
Bloomingdale's.
much.
This is Chris Prescott. He's with KidsWish.com. Chris, great to see you.
Good to see you, Matt.
How are you contributing?
Well, today, KidsWish.com, the online gift registry for kids, is giving away $10,000 worth of toys, including Barbies and Tickle Me dolls. And through the end of the week, we'll be adding to that donation up to $100,000 worth of toys every time somebody comes onto the site and creates a wish list.
That's great. So not only do you get to kind of monitor how the site's doing, but you get to take part in a great cause.
Everybody gets to take part.
Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you,
and all
Matt.
our best to the folks at KidsWish.com.
Thank you, Matt.
And still to come this morning, we're going to check in with Willard Scott. He'll continue his series on people who've seen the entire 20th century, and we'll check in with Bill Gates and find out his thoughts on the new millennium. But first, time to check out the weather with Mr. Roker. Al?
Well, thank you, Mr. Lauer. And back here, we've got a birthday. Sophia Noel? Well, that's very Christmas-like. How are you, sweetie? Where are you guys from? See her?
We're from Manhattan.
From Manhattan. She's kind of chewing on her snowsuit.
Yeah.
We kind of like that. And who's back up there? All the way up there?
Jack Dufresne.
Jack?
Jack Dufresne.
All right, Jack, how you doing? Hey, Jack. Good to see you. Jack got a little help there. And this nice lady from... Wow, and you went to all this trouble for that sign. That's great. How long did you work on that?
About a second.
All right.
Considering she didn't
But
do it,
you know
I did.
what?
She
It's,
did it.
you did it.
Yes.
It's the thought that
It's
counts.
hi, Pa. Hi, Pa.
Hi, Pa. Let's check your weather and see what's happening. Hey, Northwest, you folks are just been getting hammered all week. More gale force winds, wet weather, mountain snows, and we got snowy conditions around the Great Lakes, wet weather in southern Florida. For Thursday, more rain here in the Northeast, snow in parts of the Northeast. We're looking at wet weather in the Northwest, windy conditions in the Rockies, cool but sunny through the Southwest, and more rain in central and southern Florida, wet weather northern New England, and snow in parts of Pennsylvania and interior New York State. That's what's going on around the country. Here's what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Good morning to you. It is Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. Most of the moisture right now is aiming at British Columbia and northern Washington. May not seem like it because it's wet outside, but that moisture will be sagging to the south, so we're in for more rainfall today and even heavy rainfall at times tonight. For the valley, rainy and windy conditions will continue with winds 15 to 30 miles an hour and warm too. 53 for a high in Salem, Portland and Vancouver also 53.
These folks who donated some more stuff, the All-Star Cafe has always been very nice. Their office and folks getting stuff together. What's your name?
Janine Scarpello.
Janine, and you guys bringing more stuff for us? You collected this stuff from your folks there?
Yes, the staff gets together and make this annual donation.
Well, we really
think it's
appreciate
great to give back to the kids.
Thank you very much. And then we got the folks from Headway, New York.
Good morning, Al. Andrew Solomon from Headway, New York.
And you guys have a whole bunch of stuff. Besides Patrick the Pup, you've got all kinds of toys and stuff with your friends back there.
On behalf of all the employees, we all collected, and we're really proud to be part of this organization.
All right, thank you very much. Now, let's head back over to Matt.
All right, thanks very much. Where are you from?
Atlanta.
And so did you know that the Gone with the Wind Museum is opening tonight there?
Yes, we did.
But you came here instead.
We want to see you, man.
Well, that's good. You can always see the museum. It'll be there all the time.
Right, never see you.
Nice to have you here. Happy holidays.
Thank you, man.
We're back in a moment. First, this is Today on NBC.
Children are very expensive. You know, you can't just provide one program for them. There's a multitude of needs they have, from therapy to education to they need play. I need donations to keep my doors open. Cars are a major way in which we can make that happen because it provides us a new source of revenue. New cars, old cars, used cars, boats, planes, just give us a call.
To make your tax-deductible auto donation, call 1-888-FATHER-JOE.
You want to come up here? You want to come up here? Come on. Come on. You want to come up here? You want to come up here? Up. Come on. Come to Daddy. You want to come up? Come on. You want to come up here? Up. 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 Come on, Petey.
Howdy.
I'm in a payphone. I'm not from here. I took my shopping bags when I turned around to grab the purse. The cab was gone. No, I didn't. I'm very calm, sir. I just left my wallet with $1,000 in the cab. It's all my cash. I have nothing. Excuse me? No, I didn't get the driver's name. You don't understand. I'm on vacation. Everything is in that cab.
Look at this. Car Toys really does have all the best car stereo brands.
Of course, Car Toys is America's largest independent car stereo and wireless retailer. No one beats Car Toys' selection. Now get this 140-watt Alpine detachable face CD player for just $179.95 installed free.
Alpine for $179?
Yeah, the only thing you need to know about car stereo is where to go.
Car Toys makes Christmas shopping easy.
Car Toys, a better way to go.
Now, more of our series on the people we feel made an impact on our lives during this past century. As we've said, the list is by no means complete, but there's no question that this next man has been the single most important force in making computers very much a part of our lives.
Mr. Sandman, bring me a dream.
The year is 1955.
And the Dodgers go wild.
The Brooklyn Dodgers win the World Series. Mickey Mouse finds a new home with the grand opening of Disneyland. Chuck Berry's Maybelline rocks the airwaves. Davy Crockett hats are all the rage. IBM introduces its first business computer, and Mary and William Gates of Seattle produce a son, William Henry Gates III. Little did they know that young Bill would go on to become the reigning king of the computer industry, and at age 44, the richest man in the world. There were some early signs that Gates had a knack for computers. He was already writing computer programs at school when he was just 12. But back then, the computer was a massive machine that spoke languages only programmers and whiz kids like Gates could understand.
IBM made its personal computer to help a person be more productive.
Then, in 1981, this IBM ad campaign ushered in the birth of the personal computer.
From Radio Shack's world...
Imitators soon followed, and the PC suddenly took off, and so did Bill Gates. His rise to the top began in 1975 when he dropped out of Harvard to create Microsoft with his friend Paul Allen.
The vision that I and my co-founder had about the personal computer was very unique. People laughed at it when we were first talking about it. The vision we had about the importance of software and how software would evolve, that seemed very strange because there was no such thing as a software industry. So our vision was a really key element in our success.
Before that, hardware, the nuts and bolts of the computer, was the product that sold, while software, the programs that ran on the machines, was pretty much ignored. But Bill Gates saw the future in software, and because of that vision, he made what is arguably the greatest business deal of the century.
We think we have what you need.
The defining moment in Gates' career is depicted in this scene from the TNT movie Pirates of Silicon Valley, in which Microsoft strikes a deal with IBM to develop the operating system for its new PC.
So we can get you an operating system.
What kind of operating system?
It's called DOS. Of course, we don't just want to sell it to you outright. We want to be able to license it to you.
You want to retain ownership?
Right.
IBM went for the deal. Microsoft retained the rights to their operating system, and when PC clones flooded the market, all of them licensed software from Microsoft. Bill Gates was the only game in town.
When you dropped out of Harvard at the age of 19, did you ever envision that you would be sort of ruling over this incredible advancement in technology?
Well, I don't think anybody rules over it, but even my imagination didn't consider the idea that Microsoft would grow to be such a successful company.
So successful that his early motto, a computer on every desk and in every home, practically became a reality, and almost all of them used Microsoft software. Some call Gates a visionary. His critics claim he's simply a smart, ruthless businessman who outmaneuvered his competitors. When Gates set his sights on the internet, his aggressive business tactics quickly made Microsoft software the primary link to the web. And that's made his company the target of a Justice Department antitrust lawsuit that's led a judge to conclude that Microsoft is in fact a monopoly that used strong-arm tactics to undermine the competition.
Microsoft is a monopolist, and it engaged in massive anti-competitive practices that harmed innovation and limited consumer choice.
We respectfully disagree with a number of the court's findings and believe the American legal system ultimately will affirm that Microsoft's actions and innovations were fair and legal.
Whatever the legal outcome may be, what is astonishing is that Microsoft was able to take control of the web software market, considering that Gates was slow to jump on the internet bandwagon.
At first, you didn't think the idea would fly, did you?
What caught people, including Microsoft, by surprise was that the work that had been going on in universities, that work flourished and moved into the commercial world. And it forced everybody to rethink their strategies and latch on to the internet.
Are you surprised that .com has become such a part of the vernacular?
The whole way that the internet is in every magazine you pick up and it's in every ad, it always kind of surprises me.
I mean, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a gold rush. And you see the levels of investments and the valuations and the rapid things going on, I'm sure we'll look back on some of this and say, wow, that was kind of excessive. But overall, I think it's a really fantastic thing.
Answer call.
So fantastic, in fact, that if it's up to Bill Gates, within the next few decades, we'll all be living what he calls the web lifestyle.
And I really think we're
By
going to have to
then,
make some
we'll just take the computer for granted, just like, you know, the phone and the automobile today. So the idea that your personalized news, you just wake up and you see that, you see your messages, you see the traffic conditions, you decide if you want a video conference to stay in touch with somebody. You don't necessarily go to the office the full working day, because a lot of tasks can be done out of your home or from another location. I see it as a world where, you know, we don't think of distance as that important. We won't even think of national boundaries as being that important.
Does the prevalence of computers in our lives now, and even more so in the future, ever creep you out?
Well, having this kind of powerful tool, it means you've got to exercise discretion on how you use it. You may, you know, have rules for your kids in terms of what they do with it. But I certainly see a very strong role for being on the computer and having access to material that, when I grew up, even the most privileged kid couldn't have.
When you think of the great inventions of this century, where do you think the computer ranks?
I think the computer will be one of the most enduring and one of the most important, because man is a user of tools. And really the most important tool is the one that helps us leverage our creativity, helps us pursue our curiosity, helps us be in touch with people, even people who are far away.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Gates.
And there's no doubt that Bill Gates will be remembered as the man most responsible for making the computer a staple of modern life. What would you like your legacy to be?
Well, I hope the arrival of the PC as this empowering tool is something that people remember as a real milestone. There are a great number of people who've been involved in this. You know, I'm lucky to have been one of them. We've had the most fun jobs that are possible, and that's plenty for me.
Bill Gates. We'll be back in a moment, but first, this is Today on NBC.
If your table could speak, what tales it would tell. Of great holiday meals, the life of your family told in the sharing of great food. Of old recipes handed down from one generation to another. And no doubt you're very particular about the food that graces your table. Just like the store that's been serving families for over 75 years. Great food at lower prices every day. You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
Monet, Picasso, Matisse, Chagall. These are just some of the world-famous artists whose major works of art you'll be able to see at the Portland Art Museum, November 21st through January 23rd in Monet to More, the Millennium Gift of Sara Lee Corporation. Portland is one of only 3 museums in the U.S. honored to host this spectacular collection. For more information and tickets, call 226-2811. Presented by Fred Meyer and News Channel 8.
Direct from 2 record-smashing years on Broadway, Rob Becker's Defending the Caveman.
It was hysterical. Every couple should see this together.
A man doesn't just watch the TV. A man actually becomes the TV.
That's us.
I laughed so hard I had to borrow a tissue from the lady next door to me.
Rob Becker's Defending the Caveman, the longest-running solo play in Broadway history.
Tickets are on sale now. Part of the KeyBank Best of Broadway series, sponsored by Delta Airlines.
Terrific holiday savings are waiting for you at Bi-Mart. Save $20 on the upright Mega Boss vacuum from Eureka, and it's only $89.99. Or get the Eureka Smart Vac self-propelled vacuum on sale for just $199.99. Get a bonus 4-pack of Fuji Super HQ 200 film. It's just $6.99. And save on the 3-pack of Fuji HQ 160 or Pro 120 videotapes. They're only $4.99 per pack. Sale prices in December 18th at Bi-Mart. Be sure to shop at your newest Bi-Mart, now open in Damascus.
Portion of Today is brought to you by Smuckers. With a name like Smuckers, it has to be good.
And this morning on our special series, Willard's Century, the story of 100-year-old Edward Small, the oldest living engineer from the Union Pacific Railroad. Willard spoke with Ed recently at the railroad's locomotive steam shop about how much transportation and everything else has changed in his lifetime.
Edward Small was born to be a railroad man. He spent all of his 100 years in Cheyenne and Laramie, Wyoming, home of the Union Pacific Railroad.
I know something about work. That's probably the only damn thing I do know.
Well, you've worked all your life.
Oh, yeah.
His first job was at age 12, sweeping floors and making deliveries for a Laramie drugstore. As a teenager, he played football.
We had helmets, but they were too poor to give linemen any shoulder pads.
Did you ever get hurt?
Well, a lot of broken collarbones.
After football season, his senior year, he left high school for a job on the railroad. He was 18 and 3 years shy of the age required to become a locomotive fireman. So he told the foreman he was 21.
No, I lied a little bit, John. That was during World War I, and there was a shortage of railroad men.
In those days, the trains had hand-fired engines. Ed earned $3.50 a day to shovel coal, up to 15 to 20 tons in 8 hours. 5 years later, he was promoted to steam locomotive engineer.
How fast would those trains go, the old steam trains?
It was around 35 miles an hour.
The railroad business was expanding rapidly in the 1920s, and so was Ed's family. He married Helen Martin in 1924, and they had 2 children. After the stock market crash at the end of the decade, industry was in decline, and the railroads had fewer loads to carry. Jobs were scarce.
The Depression took away everything. We had what we thought were good jobs, and we didn't save. We didn't save money, and when the Depression hit us, what we had was our last paycheck.
Then a public works project on the Colorado River changed everything. Suddenly, there was work to be done.
Well, you helped build the Hoover Dam, didn't you?
That was one of the bright spots during the Depression. The railroad built a special rail and hauled a great deal of material for that dam. There was a hell of a lot of men lost their lives in the Hoover Dam.
In the 1940s, trains were busy transporting war materials, and the demand for more trains created new technology.
I saw the beginning of the change of railroading.
In 1942, the big boy was introduced, and then in 1947, the diesel engine. But commercial airplanes began to challenge the railroad's dominance. Airplanes soon replaced passenger trains, but Ed still believes that train travel is the way to go.
I always like railroad travel because it's so relaxing. You got on a train, night came, you had a Pullman car.
Do you think passenger trains will ever come back again?
I don't think the public want them. I don't know, everything is so damn fast anymore.
Right.
People don't want to do anything unless it's in a hurry.
A railroad man to the core, Ed measures the century's greatest achievements in terms of trains.
What do you think the most important thing that's happened?
To me, it was when I had a number 6 scoop shovel, and they put a stoker on an engine to a railroad man. That was the greatest invention in the world. You didn't have to stand down on a deck and do this.
Shovel
that.
down.
But he also marvels at all the other advancements that his generation has seen.
I think television is the greatest thing. Of course, I can go back to the time that Marconi started with wireless. I can remember the first time I heard a phonograph.
But his fondest memory of all is the old iron horse.
I think I've lived through a century of great things.
For today, Willard Scott, NBC News, Cheyenne, Wyoming.
And tomorrow, as we continue this series, Willard will have the story of Ellen McKinney, a mother of 10 who's experienced incredible changes in civil rights throughout the past century. It's 8:53. We're back in a moment, but first, this is Today on NBC.
Mariah's music is very inspiring. Mariah Carey is kind of like my hero. The best thing about Mariah Carey is her voice. All this talent rolled up into one person. Mariah Carey CDs will always work as a great gift. Prices on CDs at Walmart are low. Mariah does not disappoint.
Mariah Carey at Walmart. Holiday gifts never sounded better.
She's the best.
For Christmas and all year round, nothing escapes the power of the Dirt Devil.
Kitchen Caboodle slogan test, take 96.
Kitchen Caboodle. We're not just for dinner anymore.
Next.
Kitchen Caboodle. We offer furniture and cookware to anyone the law allows. Blenders and tables and chairs. Oh my, candles and galaxies.
Yeah, Dorothy. There's no place like home.
Home.
That's it.
Kitchen Caboodle. We make your house a home.
That's a wrap.
Looking for that perfect gift? Come to Kitchen Caboodle, where we've cooked up some great ideas.
Just should mention, Katie's gone home a little early today because Ellie has a pageant at school.
A Christmas presentation at school.
So she's there
Good mom.
with her daughter. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice afternoon.
Today is a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, a special Lifeline series on women's health. What are your biggest questions? Alternative medicine? What works? What doesn't? Aging and cosmetic surgery? Menopause? Is there a way to push it back, even stop it? Now, new answers only on NBC Nightly News tonight.
Football legend Joe Theismann and Ed Harris get it live.
What's on your list today?
Chop wood.
Change light bulbs.
Furnace filters.
Smoke alarms.
Fix gutters.
Clean the garage.
Weather stripping.
Clean the garage.
You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
You've got a lot of things to do this time of year, and they can add up to lots of time and money. So come to Freddy's and save on everything you need for home projects.
You'll find it at Fred Meyer.
Can I help?
This is a News Channel 8 update.
Good morning, everyone. It is 8:56 now, and our temperature outside is currently 49 degrees. I'm Carl Click, along with Debbie Duran. Here's what's happening in our local news. Traffic moving again on top of the steel bridge after a spectacular fire. A train derailed below the bridge last night, causing a fire that sent flames high into the air. The freight train was maneuvering the curve when it jumped the tracks and hit a gas line. Happened just before 9 o'clock and took more than 3 hours to bring under control. Officials were worried about heat damage to the steel bridge, but inspectors found no problems this morning and cleared the bridge for use. From the Cascades to the coast, people are getting ready for another round of Oregon flooding. Several feet of new snow have piled up in the mountains, but warmer temperatures and rain will melt a lot of that new snow. A flood warning is in effect now for Tillamook County. With more on that and look at today's weather forecast, let's check in with Bruce Sussman.
Well, thanks a lot. Here's what's going on First Alert Live Doppler 8000 radar. Probably no surprise. We've got rain all over the place, although it's kind of scattered around the metro area. We've had fairly light rainfall amounts, but heavy rainfall coming off the Coast Range and up near Kelso right now, and that's where most of the energy has been focused in the North Coast Range, and that's why we have flood warnings out for the Nehalem and also the Wilson River, especially near Tillamook. We're keeping an eye on that today. Lots of moisture coming in. Right now, it's still mainly aiming to our north, if you can believe it. We're not even under the real focus of all of this tropical moisture. But tonight, all of this will drop south, and that means we will be seeing heavier rain. Meanwhile, warmer temperatures and the snow level rising to 7,000 feet this afternoon. That means snow melt. In the valley, rainy, windy, and in the 50s. Carl?
Okay, Bruce, thank you very much. We'll see y'all today at noon. Bye now.
Only 3 days left to give to the Great Toy Drive. Drop off donations now at Les Schwab or KGW. The Northwest News Channel 8 Great Toy Drive, sponsored by Les Schwab Tire Centers.
If your kids go online, they are being stalked by sexual predators.
That stranger is coming into the house through the computer.
Now, if you don't think this is happening to your children, you are so wrong. Protect your children. Next, Oprah.
Today at 4 on Northwest News Channel 8.
Thursday, from Friends to ER, it's all new, all night, holiday must-see TV.
Merry Christmas!
All new, all night, NBC Thursday.
Finding great holiday gifts is no piece of cake. At Petco, we've got tons of toys and treats that are sure to please every hound around. So come to Petco, where the pets go, for gifts.
The Meyer and Frank One Day Only Super Sale starts tomorrow 8 a.m. Bring in your 20% bonus coupons.
We've got the gifts. Yeah, we got the gifts.
Hi, I'm here to motivate you to see a dentist. No, not next week and not next month, but now, while you still have teeth to be checked. Statistics show that if you don't see a dentist regularly, there's a good chance you won't have very many teeth by the time you're...
Next on News Channel 8 at noon, do you expect a tax rebate this year and you haven't got one? Find out if the state owes you money but can't find you. Also, a huge fire downtown last night. A train derails and breaks a natural gas pipeline. This is what it looked like last night. We're going to check in live to see how it's going today. And she made it with her voice until she says doctors took that away. Julie Andrews' lawsuit and all the day's news right now.
From KGW, where the news comes first. This is Northwest News Channel 8 at noon.
Raging flames light up the Portland night after a train derails and starts a blistering hot fire. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Carl Click. Brenda Braxton is off today. Crews are working today to clean up the train cars that derailed just before 9 o'clock last night. It happened right at the steel bridge and sparked a fire you could see for miles. News Channel 8's Russ Lewis is on the scene. He joins us now live with the latest. Russ?
Carl, it appears that the 87-year-old steel bridge held up just fine, but 5 rail cars did not. And right now you're looking at the last one that needs to be moved out of here. That sawdust-looking material you see there is actually bran, and right now it is getting pumped out into another rail car, 160,000 pounds of it. That is a lot of cereal and muffins. This was a 50-car freight train that slowly approached the steel bridge about 8:30 last night. For some reason, it jumped the track, sparking a spectacular fire. The flames jumped high into the night sky, fueled by a ruptured 16-inch natural gas line. The nearest shutoff valve was too close to the fire. It took Northwest Natural 3 hours to get around the problem.
So we needed to make sure that we could get there with the right equipment and turn the valves down slowly so we can monitor pressure for our system.
Firefighters closed 10 downtown blocks and were content to hold the flames in check. Burning natural gas is actually considered safe. At the same time, spraying water on the steel bridge to minimize damage as the fire whipped against it.
And we know that the steel loses about 90% of its strength when it gets to 1,000 degrees. And inside that ball of fire, that's 2,000 degrees in there. So there's a lot of heat radiating there.
Overnight, state inspectors declared the bridge safe and it reopened for the morning commute. Only a small section of Front Avenue remained closed. That left Union Pacific to right 5 of its cars this morning and move them out. freight trains approach the steel bridge slowly at 5 or 10 miles an hour. So what caused this accident is a mystery.
Derailments happen for a variety of reasons. They can be mechanical, related to the cars. They can be track related. There's certainly no indication in this case that it's operator related.
We are back here live now underneath the steel bridge with one rail car remaining that is actually into the Willamette River. They will work on this just as quickly as they can. We're lucky that some other cars on this train did not derail because a couple of them contain dangerous chemicals like chlorine, so thankfully they stayed on the tracks. We're told by Northwest Natural just a handful of homes remain without natural gas at this hour. But the crews really are racing against time. They want to get all this off the tracks by 2:30. That is when Amtrak scheduled its next southbound train heading through here to Los Angeles. Of course, that won't happen with this mess still blocking the tracks. Reporting live, I'm Russ Lewis. Carl, let's go back to you.
All right, Russ, thank you very much for the update there. Amtrak officials tell us that all their trains are on schedule for the rest of the day, and they don't expect any delays because of that accident. But it was a different story last night. The fire caused problems for trains coming and going south of Union Station, and it caused a number of delays. Amtrak had to bus passengers from Eugene, Albany, and Salem up to Portland because the tracks were shut down overnight. Here is the bottom line on the train derailment and fire. The steel bridge is open at this hour. So far, inspectors have not found any damage to the bridge. Union Pacific is unloading all the bran off of that train car, and again, Amtrak is not reporting any delays. The high seas rescue underway off the Washington coast. Coast Guard cutters from Port Angeles and Astoria on their way to rescue the crew of a yacht 30 miles off the coast of La Push. A 114-foot boat is disabled in 20-foot seas and 35-mile-an-hour winds. There are 5 people on board. Another ship is causing some real problems for wildlife on the Oregon coast. The Blue Heather sank last Wednesday off the Newport jetty. 2 people drowned. Now the vessel is leaking some of the 7,000 gallons of diesel fuel on board. So far, wildlife officials have found 3 birds dead. Many other animals are at risk. It could be days before the weather calms down enough for divers to begin pumping fuel from that wreck. You could have a Christmas bonus just waiting for you to claim, courtesy of the Oregon Department of Revenue. News Channel 8's Tom Fuller joins us now from Salem with that story. Tom?
Well, Carl, you remember the kicker checks that were cut just about a month ago? Well, appears that if you should have gotten one but didn't, it might have been sent back. Actually, the post office sent back 15,000 kicker checks that were undeliverable. And right now, Department of Revenue staff are going through those checks, but if they don't have the right address, they can't send you your money.
In some cases, the post office has put on the correct address but has not forwarded it. So that's easy. We just go through, we reissue the check to the correct address. We also check our system to see if the taxpayer has called at some point recently and given us a correct address, in which case we go ahead and reissue the check.
If you don't claim the kicker money in 2 years, it goes to the state's unclaimed property office, where it languishes, eventually heading to the Common School Fund. You can keep that happening, of course, by calling the Department of Revenue. The numbers are on your screen. In Salem, it's 378-4988, or toll-free around Oregon, 1-800-356-4222. Of course, if you didn't file a return, then you can't get a kicker check in the mail, but the Department of Revenue says they'll be glad to take that 1998 return. And if you get a refund, why, they'll send it to you, as long as they have the right address, Carl.
Yeah, bad time not to have that money if you deserve it, Tom. Thank you very much. Imagine trying to drive down a busy street while rocks are falling on you from above. Past slides have made that a possibility, but today Portland transportation workers tried to keep that from happening. They put up this massive cable net on cliffs overlooking Southwest Burnside and Tishner Drive. That's where the rock face slid onto the Burnside Road a year ago. Since then, crews have scraped off the loose rock. Now they hope the netting will prevent any more slides. Of course, slides usually happen when we have a lot of rain, which is happening right now. Let's check with Bruce Sussman.
That's right, especially along the coast, Carl. Here's First Alert Live, Doppler 8000 radar, and the radar beam we can control. You notice around the metro area, as we zoom in now, there's not a whole lot happening. I mean, a few showers down near Damascus and over by Gresham and Oregon City, and a little bit of light rain by Portland. But the big rainfall going on right now continues to be in the North Coast Range. And you can see all the yellow and orange. That indicates the really heavy rain. And because of that, we've got flood warnings out for some of the rivers along the Coast Range. And I'll talk about that in a few minutes. In the meantime, We've got wind in the Willamette Valley. Let's take you outside right now from our Northwest Sky Cam at OMSI Tower. You can see the gray skies, and again, it's just kind of spitting outside, not really raining, but check out our instant weather network. 49 degrees, and look at the peak gust, 32 miles an hour. That happened within the last 15 minutes. So it's been windy all night and continuing now through the afternoon. We'll see gusts like this in the valley. Meanwhile, we'll also see more rain moving toward the Willamette Valley, and I'll be back to talk about that in just a few minutes. Carl?
Okay, Bruce, you mentioned a little bit about flooding. Residents along the Oregon coast are bracing for another wave of flooding. In Tillamook, they're still recovering from the Thanksgiving Day flood. Now, with rivers rising, residents are stocking up on food and businesses are sandbagging. Many locals say they have the answer to preventing these floods from becoming an annual occurrence. There's a petition going around town asking the government to dredge the rivers so the water will stay in the banks.
Now the environmentalists think that the fish and the habitats are more important than human habitat. And so what they need to do is dredge. And the whole county's talking about it, and they're ready to revolt and do it anyway.
A flood warning is now in effect for the rivers in Tillamook County. The worst flooding in that county will likely happen tomorrow. Santa Claus was delivering presents to some low-income kids this morning, and this time Chris Kringle was handing them out bingo, bango, bongo.
August.
There you go.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, that was Trailblazer Damon Stoudermeyer. He's at the Albina Head Start Center in Northeast Portland today. He was handing out sweatshirts that he bought for each of the kids. Bright smiles and bright eyes welcomed him there, of course. And after the close, then came the toys. Damon brought a bunch of toys the team and News Channel 8 collected last week at the Rose Garden. It was an early Christmas present for some very deserving and very excited kids. And you still have time to add a gift to our great toy drive and help out a needy child. Here's a live look at our toy box in our studio. It is filling up, but they're still a little bit shy of our goal of 35,000 toys for the kids in our area. You can help out by bringing any new unwrapped toy to a Les Schwab Tire Center or to us here at Channel 8. Thanks a lot for all your help. Next, why did Julie Andrews lose her singing voice? She says doctors messed up and that messed up her career. Learn about her lawsuit next. Also, prisoners in Louisiana still hold the warden and other hostages at this hour. The standoff has lasted more than 2 days. Also, the story of a little girl who no one believed. She tried to tell them that her mother was dead. This is News Channel 8 at noon.
If your kids go online, they are being stalked by sexual predators.
That stranger is coming into the house through the computer.
Now, if you don't think this is happening to your children, you are so wrong. Protect your children. Next, Oprah.
Today at 4 on Northwest News Channel 8.
News Channel 8 is closed captioned through a generous grant from Sleep Train Mattress Center. Sleep Train, your ticket to a better night's sleep.
A major inventory clearance event is now underway at Standard TV and Appliance. The year-end clearance means huge savings on dozens of name brand products. Hurry to Standard for 12-month no-interest financing, plus clearance prices on big screen satellite systems, recliners, appliances, and more during this store-wide event. The year-end clearance, that's Standard TV and Appliance on Southeast 82nd, in Tigard on Highway 99, and Beaverton on Canyon Road.
Through the ages, forests, large and small, have captivated and enchanted people everywhere. And Forest Park, the largest forested city park in America, is no exception. Support for the park is deeply rooted with Friends of Forest Park. By getting involved and becoming a member, you can help preserve this valuable Portland treasure. Call Friends of Forest Park at 223-5449. Sponsored by News Channel 8 and Portland General Electric.
Now, back to KGW, Northwest News Channel 8.
In the Middle East, more than a dozen people have been arrested for planning year-end attacks against Americans. U.S. officials say the terrorist group included 11 from Jordan, an Iraqi, and an Algerian. Authorities say they recently trained with explosives and other weapons in Afghanistan. The suspects were arrested by Jordanian security forces. Crucial talks for Middle East peace are underway between two key players in Washington now. This morning, President Clinton welcomed the Prime Minister of Israel and the Foreign Minister of Syria. It's been 4 years since Israel and Syria met at the peace table. The president said he and Secretary of State Madeleine Albright will do everything they can to help the two sides succeed in an agreement. There's some progress at this hour in attempts to end a jail standoff in Louisiana. Cuban inmates are holding a warden and 2 guards hostage, but 5 other inmates have been released. Officials say that's a good sign that the standoff might end soon. The uprising at the Louisiana jail started Monday when the hostages were taken by knife point. An incredible story from Boston this afternoon. A 7-year-old girl